Hello, everybody. Welcome along to a deadline day transfer special here on the Football Martin channel. I am creating a content creators deadline day special this evening. A slightly different twist on things to what you would normally see on Sky Sports News. We're doing our own thing in our own way this evening, but it's going to be raw. It's going to be fan related, and we are going to involve everybody that gets involved this evening in the conversation. So if you're tuning in live, get involved in the comments box. We are going to talk about everything Southampton tonight. We are going to cover all the key topics. It's been a massive day at the football club, and I have my very good friend with me, a superb content creator and a very, very good, he has unbelievable knowledge of Southampton. Ethan is joining me from Saints FC Vlogs. You should all know him by now. And if you're not following him, his handle's on the bottom of the screen as well. Make sure you do go follow Ethan. Ethan, thank you for joining me.
Hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm in tip-top form, mate. Very good. We got 55 in the live already. We've got some guests coming in tonight, Ethan, throughout the live, haven't we? We're going to be joined by friends of ours, and hopefully we've got some content creators that we've been chatting to that are going to join us. We've got a Southampton fan up first tonight. But before we bring in our first guest this evening, we do need to catch a breath and talk about everything at Southampton and that big news at lunchtime today that Aaron Ramsdale has become a Southampton player. I still can't quite believe it. I'm still pinching myself, but Ramsdale is a Saint.
I think it's brilliant. Really, really good for the football club. Phil Parsons and the board should be really, really happy with what they've done. I think it's a brilliant business. Arsenal were wanting 30 million for Ramsdale. We've managed to get him for 18, pushing on to 25 million. But I think it's really, really good business by Southampton.
Yeah, it is a really, really good business. I think this is one of the biggest signings that we've done in many years. I was thinking back today, when was the last time we signed a player of this caliber? An England international, a goalkeeper of all positions, playing at a club that's been chasing the league title. I think it's quite incredible business. I loved his interview. I loved everything about lunchtime today. You guys get involved in the comments box below. What were your thoughts at lunchtime today when it dropped? I think they did it exactly how we all expected. Ethan, was the reveal as you expected?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he dressed it up in the playoff final to watch his mate Brooks. And I think it was brilliant by the media team. They should be very, very proud of themselves. And I think we all expected it.
Yeah, no, we did. We did all expect it. I think in the final couple of hours as well, I think it's going to be really, really busy as well. We're expecting potentially 2 more deals at Southampton. If you're a Saints fan tuning in, there are 2 more deals. We're waiting for the confirmation on Maxwell Cornet, whether he is going to sign for Southampton. It looks like a season-long loan with a possible option to purchase at the end of it. Ryan Fraser, I believe, from what I'm reading and what I'm being told, he will sign for Southampton within the next couple of hours. Personal terms, no issue whatsoever. He's arranged everything with Newcastle, I believe, now to be released from his contract there. And Ryan Fraser should become a Southampton player later on this evening. Apparently, it's not a short deal neither. It's going to be a fairly lengthy deal, Ethan, from what they're saying.
Yeah, I think it's about. Yeah, it's a tough one because I think there's loads of cases that go into this. Obviously, he's had to have his contract terminated by Newcastle. But no, I think it is a lengthy contract they've laid down as well. And I think it's brilliant. I mean, he was really, really good for us last season. He's coming in on a free. Obviously, all we have to do is have his wages, and I think we've covered that.
A lot of fans are not happy with it. A lot of a mixed bag. Certainly, being shared around social media. A lot of people don't think he's up to the Premier League. But I just need to bring you a little bit of breaking news. Samuel Dozie now has multiple options to leave Southampton on loan today. It's believed Rangers are now in for him. Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United and Swansea, as well as 2 other unnamed Championship clubs, are hoping to land the former Man City man. It's now up to the player to decide. That's just been tweeted within the last few minutes by Mark McAdam from Sky Sports. He's down on the south coast today. He's outside the training ground, Ethan. a very good source of news. Quick little bit of reaction to that bit of breaking news that Samuel Edozie will probably leave this evening.
I think, well, it's a tough one for him. I do think he has to take the loan. Obviously, Southampton currently have a 33-man squad, which is one of the biggest in the league. That's almost enough to fill three. It is enough to fill 3 teams. To be honest, I think tonight we can expect a lot of outgoings, and I think Edozie has to be one of them. A championship move would be really, really good for him. It would gain him experience. And yeah, it'd just be a really, really good all-round deal for both the club and the player.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, especially with Maxwell Cornet coming in and Ryan Fraser, by the looks of things, we are definitely going to be fairly well covered in the wide positions. That's for sure. Right, let's get to your comments. Let's see what you have your say. Get involved in the comments box below. Edozie for a decent fee, yes, please. We believe it's potentially going to be a loan. What else do we have? Maxwell Maxwell Cornet and Fraser. Are they good enough? Yeah, both are good enough. I think Cornet will be more than good enough. I absolutely do think he will be good enough. He had a really good time at Burnley before going to West Ham and spending most of it injured, unfortunately. Right, we do have a guest waiting in the waiting room. We're gonna kick things off tonight and bring in a Southampton fan, a man you may know, a man you may not know, but if you don't know him, you definitely want to get to know him, because Jimmy from the Jimmy Cheese channel is joining us here on the Football Martin channel, Deadline Day Content Creators Special. Jimmy, thank you very much for joining us. First and foremost, the biggest news of the day, probably the biggest news of our transfer window. Southampton secured the services of England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. What's your thoughts?
Brilliant. It's
unbelievable, isn't it?
I think it's something that every fan actually wanted. And when we saw the news of the other chap, I think people started looking at his kicking stats and things like that. You know, if we compare Ramsdale to what we've got, though, he's leagues and leagues and leagues ahead, and we've not had a signing like this for years. So it's a huge signing for Saints, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ethan was just saying a minute ago, he's absolutely excited by it. We both absolutely loved the reveal today. The reveal was super special from the football club. Did you enjoy lunchtime today? I certainly did.
I always enjoy lunchtime. But yeah, today's, you know, that news coming through. I mean, we were on the cusp of it, and I actually thought that they were going to wait until deadline day to announce it, because we love a deadline day deal. And this is a great deal. You know, I think this is better than we could have imagined in terms of a fee. He's just got to step up to it now, and I think when he comes into the team, which will be soon, hopefully, he will boss that back line, and it'll be loud, because we've been missing a really loud keeper, and that's exactly what we need, is somebody to get in there, keep everybody organised, let them know what's going on, and not let things slip.
Yeah, Ethan, not only do we get a really good goalkeeper, we do get a leader in the dressing room. He's a vocal young man, Aaron Ramsdale, for someone that's quite young. He was speaking about how he's matured today since his time down on the south coast with Bournemouth. Do you feel he's going to be a real leader in the dressing room?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, you look at it, Arsenal was really, really passionate when the goals went in, always doing a knee slide or celebrating. You saw it at the Euros as well, with him and Pickford. I think he's going to be a real leader in this team. And potentially could be a call for club captain, although Stevens is obviously Stevens is the captain at the minute, but I think in a couple of years to come, he could be club captain.
You know, I think one of the great things about him is he's an absolute S-house as well. And I think that our team's kind of been missing that a little bit. Like, we've had a bit of old Prowse, you know, with Zaha in his pocket and a few little bits here and there. And obviously we had the incident with Brereton Diaz the other day, but I think just a character like that, I think, is going to bring a bit of fun and enjoyment to the fans as well. And I think we just need to be entertained at St Mary's and away.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he brings so much to us. Do we know what squad number he's going to wear, Ethan, yet? Have they announced that yet?
Believe it's 30. The number 30,
Yeah.
Ramsdale will wear. He's always wore a high number. Wore obviously 32 at Arsenal. I think he was around the 30s at Sheffield as well. So he's always been known to wear a high number.
Yeah, no, it will be interesting to see what he gets given. Apparently, Mark McAdam was outside the Southampton training ground earlier on this afternoon, and he believes that he was on the coach that travelled to Brentford this afternoon. Whether or not nobody really knows whether he's actually been registered in time to play tomorrow. So we don't actually know if he is registered in time. From what McAdam said, he was under the understanding that the Southampton had done everything they needed to do their side. It's whether Arsenal have done everything they needed to do their side. So it will be interesting to see if he starts tomorrow. Ethan, do you think if he is available, Russell throws him straight in?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, he said it in his press conference today that potentially Alex is moving to that number 2. He's already basically confirmed that. But I think it is tough on McCarthy. Potentially, do you stick him in tomorrow because maybe Ramsdale hasn't trained a lot? Don't know what he did with Arsenal in the week. But no, I think it's really tough call with McCarthy. I mean, he did really, really well for us in the Championship, coming in for Bazunu when he was injured. But no, I would chuck Ramsdale in. Ramsdale just got so much quality and could be vital. Because to be honest, I don't want to be going into the international break with 0 points.
Yeah, another little bit of breaking news for you guys. I think you've probably seen it if you've got Sky Sports News on as well. Brentford have just confirmed the signing of Jayden Magatoma from Southampton. He signs for them on a 4-year contract, 18-year-old left back. Thomas Frank has described him as one of the best left back talents in the country that the country has right now. That's what he is saying on their website. I'm just reading the Brentford website right now. Interesting comments, Jimmy, on that one. But Jayden Magatoma, who was highly thought of, Southampton are going to get 5 million up front for him, and there's another 5 million in add-on, so could rise to 10 million pound this deal.
I think that's decent. Brentford obviously looking at spending a bit of money that they've got coming in. I think they're after 40 million, aren't they, for Ivan Toney? Which, in my opinion, I think it's a bit of a mistake him going there. I don't know why he wants to do that. I'd be concerned for his England future going out there, and it's got to be about the money, hasn't it?
It has to be about the money. I find it a really, really strange one. Ethan, I think we spoke about this privately the other day, and it should be the end of his England career, Ivan Toney, to be heading to Saudi Arabia at this stage in his England career. His England career, surely wants to become a real permanent fixture within the starting 11. He done well at the European Championships when he come on. A strange move, you'd say.
I mean, it is strange. To be honest, I would rather have chosen Chelsea. Chelsea obviously were in for him. But no, it is weird. I mean, obviously, he's 26, is he? Maybe even younger, I'm not sure. But yeah, you would think so. I mean, didn't see much of him in the Euros. I don't think he even made one appearance, but potentially he would want to be the candidate after Kane. So once Kane is retired from international football, you would think Ivan Toney would come in. But no, it is a really, really strange move, and some moves to Saudi haven't worked out, as we've seen.
That'd be interesting to see. And another one we need to pick up on, Ethan, because this one's just come in. We spoke about it this morning. We've been texting each other on and off all day. We've been talking about James Ward-Prowse, but he has arrived at the Forest ground this evening. They're just showing it on Sky Sports News. Ward-Prowse to Nottingham Forest, ex-England player. Well, you call him ex-Saints captain as well, really. He apparently turned down both Saints and Everton last minute today. It's been reported by Fabrizio Romano that he is signed for Nottingham Forest on loan. It's a season-long loan, this one.
It's weird. I mean, kind of hasn't worked out how he would have liked to it. Obviously going to West Ham thinking he was going to get minutes, but then obviously David Moyes left. David Moyes was a really big inspired him to come over to West Ham. He did. It's weird. I think his career is just going to dip, to be honest. Forest, is it a right move? to be fair, Forest are stacked with midfielders as well. It'd be really, really tough for him to get a spot in the side, as we saw on Saturday. But no, I can see why he's gone there. Wants to try and impress a new manager, more likely to play under Nuno than he is Lopetegui. But yeah, it's weird. To be honest, I wouldn't have liked to see him come back to Saints. He could have stayed for us for one season of Championship, then be back promoted. But no, it's a weird one, really weird one.
Yeah, Jimmy, I want to get your thoughts on that. A lot of people talking earlier on in the week about him potentially coming back to Southampton. Would you like to have seen him come back to the Saints, or do you think we are pretty stacked out with midfielders right now?
Prowse's always been one of my favourite players, actually. I think he's a lot more versatile than people give him credit for. Again,
yeah,
he's played right back. He can play out on the wing. He can do holding midfield, attacking midfield. And of course he's got the dead balls. I think coming back to Southampton at this point, of course, I would have liked to have seen that, and it would certainly have strengthened on midfield, but it might have presented a problem for all the new buys. I think it's probably the best decision for him to not come back to us, though, because he's left as club captain. I think fair play, he has left. That's what he wanted to do, and I think he wants to get his record still for free kicks, and he's got to leave his mark on the Premier League. I think going to someone like Forest, he could create a lot there with them boys that they've all got up front now. Whether Elanga stays, I can see that Newcastle are in for him, aren't they?
Yeah, so Newcastle were in for Elanga. Yeah, they do say that. I was impressed with Nottingham Forest last week when they come to St Mary's. I thought they were a really, really good outfit. I actually thought they were really good in midfield. Totally bossed the game, Ethan. I thought start to finish. Do you see James Ward-Prowse going straight into that starting 11, or do you think he ends up sort of having to work his way into that side?
Again, it's a tough one. I think he's going to have to work his way in. Obviously, Nottingham spent big bucks on Elliot Anderson at the start of the window. That's who their number 8 was. He was absolutely bossing the midfield for Forest on Saturday. No, it will be a tough one for him, real tough. Obviously, he really wants to keep his England international career alive. Going to Forest, will that benefit him? Probably not. But no, I don't think he'll be chucked in straight away. It'll be a really, really tough decision for Nuno, what midfielder he's going to play. Yeah,
no, I like Prowse, but I struggle to see where he really fitted into like the current setup. When Mateus Fernandes has come in and done really, really well, isn't he? In midweek, he looks like a proper player. They've got the option now of Leslie Ugachukwu, who I thought he was outstanding the other night in that cup game against Cardiff. I know they made a lot of changes, but he looks like a proper player. When I saw him play for Chelsea, I thought he looked really good, and the Chelsea fans rave about him. I think Leslie Ugachukwu will play a far bigger role than we initially probably thought he might do. Would you agree with that, Jimmy? Do you think midfield wise he's got some very good options? Obviously, Smallbone and Aribo have started in those berths either side of Flynn Downs in the opening 2 games.
Yeah,
the options are good, aren't they?
I think the time's probably come for Will Smallbone to have to take a step back. I think obviously he did. He had a bit of a rough start to the season last year. He got a lot of stick, but then he stepped up. And I don't condone giving anyone stick as such. But I think as fans, sometimes people have a voice, and it can force reactions. And we saw that multiple times, even early in the season with the formation and the starting lineups. I think so. Smallbone did step up, but I think he's missing quite a lot of what you need right now in the Premier League. And I think we need to be a lot stronger on the ball. You need to actually get stuck in and make challenges in that midfield, because if you don't, you're leaving that defence wide open. And I think also a bit more pace and zip at times. He's kind of got one speed, I find, Will Smallbone. So yeah, that's my opinion on him. I don't think he's bad, but I think he'll be a good backup now.
It's a big
Yeah.
step to the Premier League. It's a huge step, and we've brought in a different types of midfielders now, Ethan. We'll go through all the incomers and all the outgoings later on in tonight's show. So sort of after 10 o'clock, we're going to go through all the incomers and all the outgoings, and we'll give a bit of a rating on this transfer window. I'm excited by the signing of Mateus Fernandes. I think he looks really, really good. They said when he signed that they felt he was a player that can make an instant impact. And I think he will do. I think he will come in and he'll make an instant impact. I think he's got some decisions to make actually tomorrow, Russell Martin, looking ahead to the game tomorrow. He could potentially throw him in tomorrow. I'm not sure if he will, Ethan. There are options. I think there'll definitely be a change in formation tomorrow. Those of you that are tuning in, watching us live, give me your thoughts. Get in the comments box below. Be really interested to hear your thoughts on how we set up tomorrow. Jack is in the comments box below. Jack, I've sent you a link if you want to jump in a bit and give us your thoughts on all things Leicester City and how you feel. We're obviously going to be in and around each other, two promoted clubs. I'll be keen to get you on the show, mate, if you would like to join us at some stage within the next sort of 45 minutes or so. A good friend of mine, Mike, is in the chat. Thank you for joining, Mike. Les Downs Fernandes to start tomorrow. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if that one happens, Mike. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Right, there's 130 of you in the live, so thank you all very much for joining. Really, really appreciate you coming on to watch us talk football tonight. It's predominantly a Southampton chat, but we will cover everybody else, really. We're going to try and cover all the teams in and around us, business that they're doing. Hopefully going to get a creator from the majority of those clubs if we can. It's not easy tying people down when no one's getting paid to do this. We're all doing it for free, basically. So you get us here out of our goodwill. I've given up a night's work to be here tonight.
Did you say you're not paying? You're not paying us?
Yeah. Until we get a sponsor, we need a sponsor very soon. If anyone's tuning in that wants to come on board and sponsor us, that would be absolutely incredible. I'm going to be creating loads of shows throughout the season. We've got some really exciting stuff coming your way. So if there's anybody that's tuning in that really fancies coming on board as a sponsor, let me know. Ethan, what do we have? You're keeping your eyes all over everything at the moment. I'm going to just flick back to Twitter. Somebody said about Kyle Walker-Peters a minute ago, but I think it's nonsense. I think it was a wind-up. It's a bit something about a loan move for Kyle Walker-Peters, which is, I believe, is absolutely nonsense. I haven't seen that one, Ethan.
No, I can't see anything at the minute. Apart from the only thing is that Maxwell Cornet is down at Staplewood at the moment. That is probably the most recent news. I would expect one of the sheets to be filled out for them two deals for Fraser and Cornet. I just don't see them getting them done before 11. So obviously they'll need that extra 2-hour period for them to get them the deals done.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely. James, what time do they have to have the deal sheets in by? There's a certain time that deal sheets have to be done by to be registered. It's got to be. Is there quite a set criteria, isn't there?
Well, they don't use fax anymore. I understand that.
Yeah. It was all done on fax, wasn't it? Yeah, it was all done on fax.
And I think it was a season or two ago that they've stopped that, so they have to register it online. I thought 11 p.m. was the cutoff. Whether they can allow an extension, I'll find that out for you whilst you're doing that. But I think Cornet would look like a good signing because he has played left back, and he's also played in striker, obviously with Burnley. Yeah.
No, we'll be interested to see. Now I'm on X, and the guys, you guys that are tuning in as well. Deal sheets by 11. Get involved in the comments box below. 9 to 11 says Andrew. Loads of people involved in the conversation tonight. We will keep dropping your comments into the show as well, so we will interact with every single one of you if we possibly can. There's plenty of you in here. We can't offload our captain. I guess he means Jack Stevens. I don't think Jack Stevens will be going anywhere. Somebody said, is Ramsdale registered in time? Well, he's registered in time to be a Southampton player. Whether he got registered in time to play tomorrow, we don't know. But he was on the coach that did travel to Brentford, but you'd expect that anyway. He would go along whether he's involved in the squad or not. Whether he starts tomorrow, I'm not convinced he'll go straight in tomorrow. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I just wonder if he'll wait till after the international break and bring him in against Man United, which will be a mighty tough game some big games coming up, Ethan, isn't there? We'll cover all the games very, very shortly. Right, guys, make sure you give Ethan a follow at Saints FC Vlogs. You've got Jimmy down there as well. He's quite a new Southampton content creator. The Jimmy Cheese channel, really cool channel, doing some real different stuff to everyone else. Everyone does something slightly different. We've all got our own edge. We've all got our own twist on things. And Jimmy is well worth a follow as well. So make sure you go follow both my guests this evening. Right. Regards to what I was just saying about Aaron Ramsdale, Russell won't throw him in at the deep end, especially with how few minutes he's had with Arsenal. Yeah, potentially. Chloe's pleased to see you here as well. Chloe's in the chat. Chloe, thank you for tuning in this evening. Hope you and family are well. Armel Bella-Kotcher, Ethan. Let's talk Armel Bella-Kotcher because it's been very, very quiet today around this young man. Played in the week, potentially put in the shop window by the manager by the looks of things. He spoke afterwards about him being his sixth choice centre back.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that. Looks really, really comfortable when he came on against Cardiff. And it almost looked like you could see he wanted to stay here. The only problem is he is quite injury prone. And now with Jack Stevens now being the captain, the incoming of Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Jan Bednarak, it'll be really, really hard for Bella-Kotcher to get a place in the team. Don't think he's been named on the bench at all for the Premier League games, the first two, but obviously came off the bench on Wednesday night versus Cardiff. But no, it'll be an interesting one, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go by the end of the window. But then again, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you don't leave.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I really like him as a player. I think potentially he's got so much potential. It actually could probably be one of our best centre-backs alongside Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Jimmy. Lot of talk that he maybe has an attitude problem. I don't know that, but it's spoken about within, when you go on Saints Web or within the fan community.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something not right there. He's got bags of potential. We've seen him play for his national team. He was in a bit of a rough team. That season we were getting lumps kicked out of us, weren't we? And he generally, I think, held up to it. But he didn't cover himself in glory either. There's definitely attitude there. Maybe the man thinks he's bigger than the badge. I think that's fine. I think that's fine if you turn up to work and do the job. But something's missing. If he's being named as his sixth choice centre back, he should be well above Stevens.
Breaking news: Wee Man's been announced.
He's been announced.
As everyone's seen in the chat. They've just announced it. They've just done the teaser video.
Oh, brilliant!
I'm going to go. I'm going to have a look.
I'm going to watch the teaser video now. We can't broadcast it because it'd be copyrighted, and I'll get in loads of trouble if I do put it out there. But Wee Man is in at St Mary's. Let's get all the details on it. Let's see if we can get some details on the deal. What's the term? And yeah, see what they have to say on the official website. Right, I'm on the official club's website now. What are they saying? No, it's not on the official club's website just yet, unless it's somewhere.
It's because I don't think they've actually announced it. They've only done the teaser video. It's just a phone with Adam Armstrong messaging. That's literally it.
That's it. It's his best mate, isn't it? So you'd expect that one to drop any second now.
Where are you seeing that?
Yeah, Twitter.
There you go. I've got obviously a picture of it. Confirmation of Ryan Fraser's permanent return to Southampton on a 2-year deal. Ryan Fraser said, "I'm probably the happiest man in Southampton at the minute." There's a picture of Ryan Fraser on the Daily Echo's 2 accounts. Alfie House, he's back for good. He signed a 2-year contract. Says Alfie House. He's delighted to be back at Southampton. So there you go. Confirmation that Ryan Fraser is in the door at St Mary's. Some reaction to that, guys?
I'll let Jimmy go first. Go on, Jimmy.
Cool.
Good business.
Yeah, if it's not loads,
free. They've not paid any money for him at all. There's no money involved in this.
Free. Yeah, Okay.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
been released. He's been released from his contract. So yeah, it's a free
Yeah.
transfer.
Okay.
This
Great.
one.
Well, that's absolutely fine then. Like if it was going to be over 2-3 million, I wouldn't be sure. But I don't think he's been up to his best as what he was a couple of years ago.
He
But
was
I think
brilliant in
he's
that time. At that time he had down at Bournemouth, he was really, really good.
absolutely.
Had a really tough time at Newcastle, but I've got to say, massive shout out to Ryan Fraser because I know he's a regular viewer on my TikTok channel. Him and his girlfriend took the time out to give me a message after the playoff campaign to say they really enjoyed watching my content. So massive shout out if they're tuning in tonight. Ryan, welcome back to Southampton. We're delighted to have you. A great human being. We know how much you wanted to be here. He's somebody that they're going to need to get up to fitness quite quickly. But the breaking news, that one, that Saints have signed the top man. We've got an Arsenal fan due in very, very shortly. So just going to get a little bit of a reaction quickly. I've got Jay Gunner joining us because he's going to give us her thoughts on Aaron Ramsdale. We'll have a little look at Arsenal, Ethan, as well. Jimmy, stay with us if you've got time. Don't go anywhere. It would be good to get your thoughts on a few more bits as we go along. Bit of a reaction to Ryan Fraser signing. Whatever you think about Fraser, he can cross the ball. Trouble is where there be anybody in the middle to take the chances. Very true. No sign of a striker anytime soon. Ryan was on the bench last season. Maybe a good squad player. No, he'd be a great squad player when you need some energy. I will give you more thoughts on this one, the other side of our next guest, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our friend Jay Gunner. You should all know him from TikTok. Top man. We met each other last weekend. Thank you very, very much for coming on our show tonight to talk about all things Arsenal, but to give us a bit of an insight into Ramsdale as well. Obviously, he signed for us today. What were your initial thoughts of losing Aaron Ramsdale to Southampton?
My initial thoughts on it, brother. I do think he needs to move away to get a bit of playing time. I think it's a signing that's going to be absolutely exceptional for you. Ramsdale, I'll be completely bluntly honest with all of you. So obviously, I was at the Southampton game last week. I do like Southampton.
You've got a bit of a soft spot for us, haven't you? You've got a little,
yeah, I do.
You've got a little bit, you've got a bit of love from the Southampton fan base, my friend.
Yeah, I've got a lot of love from the Southampton fan base. Ramsdale, he could go and sign. He's not a title-winning keeper, but he's a European keeper. He could play for a top six side. He won't. The thing is with Aaron Ramsdale, what you'll find with him, for Arsenal, what he was like, he was a great shot stopper. He's probably one of the best shot stoppers in the league. He's probably the best shot stopper as he was at Arsenal over David Raya, but he switched off too often. He would have that lax in concentration. Sometimes you see him geeing up the fans and stuff. And next thing you know, he's lost his concentration. And he admitted that on an interview. He said, I do lose a lot of my concentration. I can't keep full focus for 90 minutes. And Mikel Arteta doesn't want someone like that, which David Raya is. David Raya is our man going forward. But I do think it's an exceptional signing for you. I did expect... my source was telling me that he was going to Southampton. But I thought, if like Wolves or Bournemouth were looking at him, I thought a mid-table side, because he had 2 relegations before he come to Arsenal, I thought he might be a bit put off by another relegation battle again, because obviously he will be in a relegation battle. Let's be honest here, people. But it's a great signing for you. Absolutely, I love him. I love him to bits. And I was even saying to someone I'm seeing that I would get a Southampton just have Rambo on the back of it, because I love Rambo. I love him. I'm a massive Arsenal fan, but like you've just touched on, I put up a post regarding Southampton Football Club, showing a bit of love to them, because a lot of my subscribers were Southampton fans, what pay to listen to me. And I ended up gaining 540 followers from one post, what are Southampton fans. So it just shows, and all of them show me love.
That's why we've got you on there today. That's why I was really keen to bring you on, because obviously you know Arsenal inside out. You're a massive fan. You obviously seen Aaron, Ethan, Jimmy. Feel free to jump in and ask Jay any questions tonight. And about Aaron, we're talking about Arsenal as well. But finally, wrapping up on Aaron Ramsdale, it's interesting you talk about his concentration. I have noticed that, Ethan, with him a little bit, that he can lose a bit. He's a passionate young man. Does it concern you a little bit?
It does. I mean, as Jay mentioned, that he does over celebrate and he can lose concentration just like that. It's a tough one, but I think depending on how Martin coaches him mentally can really impact him. But we'll see. I mean, let's just hope he doesn't overreact and doesn't lose focus.
Yeah, do you think he can be worth a load of points to Southampton, Jay? Because I was kind of like, always felt with a decent goalkeeper, certainly a club like us, going to be scrapping for relegation. Let's be honest, it's going to take some doing to stay up. There's no doubt about that. Do you think he's going to be worth a load of points to us?
100%. I think after watching you last weekend, I do what I seen from you last weekend with McCarthy. Your fans are so like, it was like us a couple of seasons back with like Leno when the ball was at his feet. I found that your fans were like, as soon as McCarthy had the ball at his feet, they were that gasp of air. But with Ramsdale, he is very, very good with the ball at his feet. He's very, very good. That's what I said. The only downside is that he switches off. But predominantly, I think that is the signing that was keep you in this league.
Yeah, I think he could do as well. I think he could do. Let's talk about Arsenal. Talk about the window. Give me the lowdown on what's going on at Arsenal. There's still talk of potential outgoings this evening. What's happening?
So Reece Nelson is on his way out, and also Raheem Sterling looking like he's on his way in. By the looks,
I saw that. How do you feel about that? Raheem Sterling coming in, the Chelsea man, wanted to stay in London apparently desperately.
Yeah, I think with Raheem Sterling, do you remember when he was hitting them heights at Manchester City when he was doing really, really well? That was under Mikel Arteta. So it was Pep and Mikel has that thing with wingers. He's very, very good at coaching wingers. And I think Sterling, bringing him in, he's a proven winner. He's won the Premier League on multiple occasions. He's won all there is really, apart from I don't think has he won a Champions League? I don't know if he has. But when you look back probably 4 or 5 seasons ago, even with England, he was England's best player at one point. He was. I remember we were poor and Raheem Sterling was our best player. If you can get that out of him, then I'll have him all day long. But I don't see where he gets in over Leo Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli. He's there as a backup. He's there as a backup or a game changer where you can bring him on and you can change a game. That's what I think with Raheem. And we've been quite unfortunate with Mikel Moreno, who's just came in. He has dislocated his shoulder in his first training session. Gabriel Magalhaes has fell on him. And Gabriel's a big, big lad. And that's what's happened. His first training session, it's happened. And it's kind of what's happened is that Matt O'Reilly as well, isn't it? He was going to go to use. He's got injured straight away as well. So you've kind of done well by not signing him. But yeah, Mikel Moreno, good signing. Calafiori, absolute baller. I watched him at Bologna last season.
I've heard about Calafiori. They speak very, very highly about him.
Yeah, he had a very good season at Bologna. He was Italy's best player at the Euros, even though they didn't do very well. He scored that last minute winner, didn't he, in the group stage? I'm pretty sure to help him go. Yeah, to help him out. But yeah, 2 good signings. We need what people were saying was that Arsenal Football Club needed a striker. Yeah, but we scored 91 goals last season. 91 goals. And if you take away from February onwards, when Kai Havertz went as a centre forward, he had 16 goal contributions in 21 games, which if you take away penalties was the second most in the league. So it's kind of one of them. I think we needed a forward, whether it was a striker or not. And we have brought in someone which is going to be Raheem Sterling. There's a lot of, we all know what reactionary Arsenal fan base is like, where they're just like, oh my God, so why we're not signing anyone? They're throwing their hands in the air. Look, get over it. We scored 91 goals last season. Bukayo Saka's going to have a good season. I trust Kai Havertz up front. And Raheem coming in, it could be good, it could be bad, but under Mikel Arteta, he's done really well. But that's what it's looking like now. Reece Nelson's on his way out, and Raheem Sterling's coming in.
Yeah, Ethan, what's your reaction to Sterling on his way to the Emirates? Give me some initial thoughts.
As Jay said, it's going to be quite hard for him to get minutes. I would not start him over Gabriel Martinelli and Saka and Trossard. He's just not going to get in. But then again, he wasn't going to be in Chelsea's plans at all. Potentially him being on the bench, earning a bit of cash will hopefully keep him happy. And as Jay said, him coming on, game changer, could change a game in minutes. He can. And he had some really good spells in the lockdown Euros. And I think that was when he was our best player.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be an all right signing for them. Probably a bench warmer though.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be an interesting one to watch. Jimmy, if you watch much of Arsenal, how do you feel about them for the league this year? Because a lot of fans are tipping them for it this year. It'd be a shootout probably between Arsenal, Liverpool and City for the title, which is whether one could do one better on City. What's your thoughts on Arsenal's chances this year?
I've got a lot of mates who are Arsenal fans. I like Arsenal. I think Jesus hasn't quite hit it for them, in my opinion, or not given the fans what they want. And I didn't feel the same with him at City. I didn't think he was that great or as good as he could be. Possibly what Jay was saying about concentration or motivation or something. Something's just always seemed missing with him. But Raheem Sterling, he's 29 now. Arsenal have got a brilliant squad, but they're just City have got a very, very good squad, a very, very good coach. I think there's probably the two best coaches in the league now, I'd imagine. Arsenal just need that extra step up. And I think they're literally there. They just need someone to bang in goals. They're getting goals from across the pitch, and they just need that sort of striker that's also going to contribute. And I think they'll have it. The team could almost play a false nine if they really wanted to. They play it around that well, and they'll get goals from everywhere. But I don't think they like to play that style. I think they want someone up top to feed into, and then to distribute onto the wings for the midfield to move up the pitch, and then you'll have them all banging in goals from the middle. So maybe they need a big guy, a bit like what we need. Sterling would be a good backup, I think, though, and I'm not sure what he's like in the dressing room. He's always seemed quite quiet from what I've seen of him.
Yeah, I think he's quite quiet individual.
But to be fair, what you were saying about what he has done in the past and everything that he's won, I mean, he's a proven winner, and maybe Arsenal just need that somebody that has won everything in the club.
Yeah,
it's still a relatively young squad, isn't it?
Yeah, some more breaking news on the bottom of your screen, Southampton fans. Just a real quick one. This is from The Athletic. Tweeted this a short while ago. It's been shared by a few accounts. Aaron Ramsdale was today told earlier on, this is what they're saying, that pending Premier League approval, that he would be starting tomorrow against Brentford in the Premier League. So Aaron Ramsdale will make his debut tomorrow, as long as all that paperwork has been done. That is from The Athletic on X. Jay, back to you, mate. We're chatting all things Arsenal with you. Reece Nelson has chosen to move to Ipswich on loan from Arsenal. They're just confirming that on Sky Sports News now.
Yep.
So he is on his way out of the Emirates. What's he like as a player? I've not seen loads of Reece Nelson, I'll be totally honest with you. Obviously gone to somebody that got a team that got promoted with us. What would he take to Portman Road?
Well, with Reece, he's one of them players. He needs minutes. Minutes. He's not getting at Arsenal. He's one of. Do you know them wingers where they get at their man? Where Bukayo Saka don't really do that no more. He cuts inside. He gets at his man. He's skillful. He's fast. He's pacey. The one thing I can say about Reece Nelson, he's gave me one of my best memories as an Arsenal fan, and that was that last-minute winner against Bournemouth. Probably one of the best games I've ever seen. And Reece Nelson would do well. He's not good enough for us. He's not good enough to win a title. I don't think he's good enough for a top 6 side. I think he'll do really well over at Ipswich. I really, really do think he'll do well. And predominantly, if he gets some minutes behind him, like I've been talking about, he could get some goals behind his belt. When he went out on loan over, I think it was Feyenoord. I think he went out on loan to Feyenoord at one point over in the Dutch league. He played really well. Come back to us, and then we gave him a contract to keep him last season. We only gave him a contract, I think, last season, a new contract, and they gave it to him. I don't know why they did it, because they didn't want him to lose on a free, but it is what it is. But I do think it'd be a really, really good signing for him. Like any team that's coming up, I thought that someone could come in for yous really like that. But like I said, from last weekend watching yous, Adam Armstrong, and I'll touch on this, I'm from Coventry. So I'm an Arsenal fan, but I do support my home team of Coventry as well. So I've seen Adam Armstrong. I've seen him live in the flesh for Coventry City. And then once he left us and went to the Prem, he is not I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, you're Southampton fans. He's not a Premier League striker that's going to bang you in goals. I don't think he is Adam Armstrong, and I think we've learned that from past experiences.
Yeah, we've all been saying the same, pretty much. I think like the 24 goals last season in the Championship, 2 seasons before he only bagged the 4 goals. He's going to need to find a goal really quickly for us to settle his nerves. Otherwise, big questions are going to be asked about him, and the pressure will begin to mount on him. With the squad as big as it is at Southampton, he got pulled off quite early on Saturday. He will really have to kick on now in the next couple of weeks and really start to find goals, because if he doesn't, I think he'll find himself out the side. I think Russell's been really decent with the fact that he's prepared to give everybody a go that got us promoted last year. But the Premier League's it's a different beast, isn't it? You can see you don't get that opportunity to have an extra touch in the Premier League, do you? You can't have 2-3 touches. It's one touch, bang. And that's what I saw from Cameron Archer the other night when he played for Southampton. His goals, one touch, bang. He was getting shots off. And that's what you need to do, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You need, and that's kind of what. So Arsenal last season, if we're going back to this, Arsenal last season, we played a lot of good football, but we didn't have that edge where, like, you know when we played against Aston Villa, and then it was towards the latter end of the season, and they scored in the 80th minute. We battered them the whole game. I don't know if I can say that on live, but we battered them the whole game.
Yeah, no, you can say it.
Yeah. But we battered them the whole game. It comes to the 78th minute. Ollie Watkins hits us on the counter, and that's it, because we didn't have that cutting edge. And I think that's what you need in the Premier League. You need that someone to get you out of a deep hole. Like last week for you, when I come to the game, it was 0-0. I couldn't see you scoring. As soon as that goal went in, I thought, this is game over. This is game. As soon as that goal, I was like, you're not going to score. And I was sitting there as an Arsenal fan, but at the same time, I wanted you to win. As mad as it sounds, I was sitting there like grips in, going, come on. Like I wanted you to score. And I think that's just like from your fans what have shown me love. And there is actually a lot of Arsenal fans now that I've spoke about you a little bit. A lot of Arsenal fans go, yeah, we like Southampton.
There's a nice respect. We've sold you some decent players over the years, haven't we? I just name a few. Obviously, the main one was Theo Walcott all those years ago. He went for a big fee. Who else has gone there, Ethan? Callum Chambers, I think he went to Arsenal, didn't he? From Southampton. We've done a bit of business throughout the years. Oxlade-Chamberlain was another one. Yeah, brilliant young academy graduate he was. What a great young lad he was. There was actually talk of him coming back in this window, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It didn't come about for whatever reason, but I think he had quite high wage demands. But Jay, before you go, really enjoyed you coming on. Really appreciate your time. It's decent of you to let everyone know where they can find you first and foremost.
Yep. So on TikTok, I'm JGunner17, as anyone really knows, and on YouTube I'm Jamie Waffles Footy. But I put up a podcast pretty much every week. But TikTok, I'm doing videos, 6 or 7 videos a day. That's pretty much where
you're like me. We're TikTok crazy, aren't we? I do love a bit of TikTok. There's a really nice it's a nice group of people on there. They're all football fanatics on there as well, and they just appreciate a content creator that's prepared to chit chat. So so make sure you go give Jay a follow. He's an absolute a must follow. Final thoughts on the season ahead. How do you feel it's going to go? Do you think you can win the league this year?
Yeah, I do, 100%. So the previous seasons we had a young squad. We still do. We have the second youngest squad in the league. Now they're experienced, and what they always say is defense wins your titles. Who's got a better defense than us in the league? Who's got a better defense than us? I don't think anyone does. And I'm going to put this question out to you as quickly, just before I leave. Who's a better centre back now than William Saliba?
Yeah, no one. Good point. No, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's in so many dream teams as well. He's in so many people's dream teams.
He's unreal. I mean, you think how much we signed? We signed him for £27 million. We signed Martin Odegaard for £32 million. We signed Gabriel Martinelli for £6 million. And then people,
I think if you ask Russell Martin, Jack Stevens.
Yeah. Go on, boys.
Thank
you for having me on so much.
Yeah, mate, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate your time. It's always great to catch up. I look forward to previewing Saints Arsenal with you in a couple of weeks' time. I've not asked you yet, but I'll ask you now live. If you're available in a couple of weeks' time, would you come on my channel, give me the lowdown ahead of the game? We can preview it together.
Are you going to be at the ground? Because I'll be there.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll be doing my interviews like you do. Obviously, I do.
I'll come and find you.
Yeah, come and find me. But mine's more TikTok based, ain't it? I don't do interviews the Arsenal fans, I just say, who do you think's a better player, this person or this person? You know, like TikTok-based ones. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, he's well worth a follow. He's game follow as quick as Jay. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your time this evening.
No worries. Can I touch on one more thing quickly?
Yeah, of course you can.
I say this on every single live that I go on. Everyone's lives, my lives, any podcast I go on. Mental health awareness is very, very important. Just check in on someone today because people are struggling out there.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And we're always here for you. Like, I'm always at the end of a TikTok. I'm always at the end of a YouTube or email, whatever. People reach out all the time. And actually, I had one lad, Jay, come to me last year just before you go, and he'd not been out of the house. And a couple of the lads were texting me saying he's not been out of the house for 6 months. Is there any way you're encouraging him to go to football? He said he's watching your TikToks and he really wants to meet you and go to football. I never met him. I never got to meet him, whether he didn't go or not. But I always said, look, if he comes to a game, find me. And we'll say hello because that's what it's all about. You got to talk to people. It's really, really important, Jay. So yeah, no, it's a really good point. Really good point. You've been a brilliant guest. Thank you very much indeed for your time, mate.
No worries, guys. Take care of yourselves, every one of you. See you
later,
later.
man. Take care.
Bye. See you, mate.
That was Jay Gunner from Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, content creator. Speaks really well, doesn't he? What a great guy, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Did you you enjoy the conversation there?
Yeah, I did. To be honest, guys, I don't know how you keep up with all this TikTok and everything like that. I do social media, so I've got a social media kind of like side business as well. And but you know, TikTok is just like it's like what Twitter used to be. You know, it's just like you've got to keep going and keep going. So your heads are just.
Do you know what, with TikTok, I've really enjoyed it. And that's how I've made Football Martin. I've made Football Martin off the back of TikTok. However, I've had to gain, and we talk about mental health chatting there. I'm not going to get too deep, but boy, you got to have some really thick skin. Some really thick skin. I tell you what, even today on X, some of the people that just want to like nab you and just basically, I don't know if it's jealousy or what it is, but they just want to have a pop. And it's just like, so what? Go away. I've got my own stuff going on. You got no idea what's going on in my life. Leave me alone. If you don't like what I write, you don't like what I record, don't follow me, block me, whatever. Get on with your life. Do you know what I mean? It's that simple. But people can be rude. Ethan, you've been on the receiving end of it as well. Yeah. You're a very well-spoken young man. You know your stuff. You know your facts. But people are jealous, unfortunately, at times in life.
Yeah. I've got two breaking news for you.
Opinions.
Go for it. Yeah, it's all about opinions. Ethan's got some breaking news, so we're going to hand over to Ethan. I'm going to do a couple of graphics why he's breaking these latest bits. But Ethan, the floor is all yours, my friend.
Samadozi loan to Adozi to Rangers is the club he's chosen. Looking, that's going to get done, and there has been a deal sheet submitted for Cornet. That's the breaking news.
That's brilliant. Now. Right, talk about Samadozi. Why I'm typing out some bits. What's your thoughts on this move?
I think it'll be good for him. As we said, I think we touched base with Sam at the start of the show. He does just lack prem quality. A loan to Rangers will really, really help him. He'll just be able to be more free there because the Scottish Championship isn't as competitive as the Premier League. But no, I think he'll be able to thrive there. It's what he needs. It's a good deal for the club and the player. He's going out to get game time, and Saints are hopefully going to be able to be getting a good player that's coming back from loan at the end of the season. Yeah,
what a great place to go and play football, though. To go to Rangers, Jimmy. What a great move this is. Absolutely phenomenal to go and play up there in front of a fanatical fan base, like a huge fan base.
Yeah, I think he'll going up to Scotland. I think he'll to start with have to grow a thicker skin, as we were just talking about just now. I think then fans will have him if he doesn't like start delivering. I don't know if he's going straight into the first team or not, but I think it's a little bit of a different league. He'll get lumps kicked out of him, but I think that's what he needs. I think he's outgrowing. I think his body's probably accelerating ahead of his footballing skills right now. Like last year, I think he was getting there, but I think this year his end product has gone down a bit. But I've always liked the fact that he could run at a defender and wasn't scared to. But I don't know if that's being coached out of him a little bit, or he just hasn't quite got that last finesse.
It's almost like he's maybe trying a bit too hard, but opportunities when you've got a big squad like we've got, opportunities maybe just that little bit more limited than what they could be. So when you get in the side, you've got to take it and you've got to give it everything. Maybe he's just trying too hard at times. I thought that the other night watching him, just maybe I was disappointed with his performance, to be honest. Against Cardiff, I thought he could have done so much better and really grab hold of that game, but he didn't, did he? And I just wonder if he's just trying a little bit too hard and the pressure's just maybe just become a bit too much.
Yeah, I certainly think the other day when he was kicking balls into the box, but we didn't have anybody in there. You know, you've got to look up and use your head. And it was a bit like, to be honest, what we were saying about Adam Armstrong. You know, whilst he banged a few in last season in the Championship, I think that he's been moved out wide and he's been asked to do a different role in the second half of the season than he was in the first. But most of his shots would be kind of down the middle, or relatively predictable. And I think what Archer showed the other day was something a bit different, and he'll go for the corners, and that's like what you need is somebody doing that. Adozie's a bit similar, though he's a bit predictable. Yeah,
he is a bit predictable. Ethan, final thoughts on this one? Looks like it's going to happen. Do you think it's definitely going to be Rangers? I think it's just. Did you say Fabrizio Romano's tweeted that as well now?
Yeah. So Fabrizio said basically it's advanced talks. It's not confirmed yet, but I do think they will get the deal over the line. Probably another deal sheet for that one. But that has nothing to do with us really. That's mainly Rangers dealing with the deal sheet for Adozie.
Yeah, so Adozie on the move. It will be interesting to see. Mentioned Cameron Archer in the conversation just a second ago. One of you did. What's your thoughts been on Cameron Archer, Ethan? Certainly that performance the other night. You watched the game. Were you impressed with with the 90 minute? He played the 90 minutes. Were you impressed with him?
Yeah, I was. I think he's better than Shea. He executes his chances a lot more, and we saw that today. Saw that on Wednesday. Sorry. Really, really good hold-up player. Like I think he basically is our Shea Adams replacement. Just can finish a little bit better than Shea. Because Shea, when he gets the ball at his feet, just the first goal for Archer was brilliant. Good touch, then just shoot straight away. Shea would look for that extra thing that he didn't have to take. But I think Archer's going to be a really, really good addition. I think he's much better than Shea. Shame we did let Shea go on a free. But no, I think I'll
bring you something with Shea Adams. Actually, I had a text message this afternoon, and one of my pals on a TikTok WhatsApp group said to me, "Martin, was Shea Adams rubbish when he played for you?" He said, "Because I'm just watching him at the moment." He said, "I don't know who they were playing tonight." And he said he's absolutely rubbish. He said you wouldn't have thought he's never played football before, which is what he told me.
Didn't he score a couple of goals the other day for Roma though?
He scored two.
Yeah.
I think he scored two.
He scored a couple of goals. Yeah. Scored
a couple of goals. And they've sussed him out after that already. I'll give him a chance. He might fit in.
There's never any patience in football, is there? It's just like everybody gives up on people so quickly.
No, we gave him 5 years to decide that he wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
or whatever it was.
It was a big. We're talking about losing players on a because their contracts run down. We do have a situation boiling with Kyle Walker-Peters right now. He's not signed a new contract at Southampton, and it's looks like he's going to stay in this window. It's obviously something I'm keeping an eye on all the time. There's been no rumblings expecting him to stay, Ethan, as it stands. But do you think he'll sign a new contract, or do you think this one will just be January and we'll see him go in January? I can't actually quite believe he's still our player, to be honest.
If you asked me at the start of the window, would Kyle Walker-Peters be a Saints player? I would have said no. I think he would have gone back to Tottenham because they were really interested with him. But I do think it will be touch and go in January. If the offer's there, I think Saints would accept it because as much as he's passionate about the club, he loves the club. I do think he thinks he's above the ability of Southampton. I wouldn't like to see him go. But if he went back to Tottenham, I wouldn't really mind. I think he deserves a move back to a top 6 side. He's been really, really good for us. And and he shouldn't have been with us in the Championship last season. For me, he was one of my players of the season.
He's been our best player in the first 2 games, I think. I might be wrong in saying that, but I just think he's been the biggest threat in it. Every time I watch him play, I think he's outstanding. I like him. I like him a lot.
I think he's moving into midfield a little bit as well. He's not just staying out on the right wing. I don't know if you spotted it. Against Forest, he was moving into midfield and switching positions quite a lot, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I think we paid something like
13 mil. I think we paid for him. If we have to keep him for the season and let him go, he could be worth 13 million to us if he helps us. So what will be. I don't want to see him go.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just that little bit of breaking news that Ethan said about a minute ago. Southampton have submitted a deal sheet in order to complete their loan move for West Ham's Matt Cornet. Hopefully that one gets done. But Sam Madozi's switch to Rangers is going to be touch and go. The Southern Daily Echo to touch and go that deal for Sam Madozi. I'm pretty sure they'll be wanting Southampton to get him out the door probably because the squad's just so bloated. I would think. Let's see what happens. We're all over it. We are keeping an eye over everything whilst we're live. We'll get you guys involved in the comments box below. I'm looking at transfer information while I'm live. I'm designing different graphics to put on the screen as well. So juggling loads and trying to present, produce, do the whole shebang. So it's a challenging task, but I hope you're enjoying our Deadline Day live content creator special this evening. It may be a bit rough, it may be a bit ready, but it's certainly different. And you have one thing you can do with us. You can interact, get in the comments box, and we will get you guys involved. We are fastly approaching 20 past 10. We have, around 40 minutes remaining. 43 minutes of the window remaining. We will stay on after the window closes because there'll be deal sheets going in and we don't really want to miss anything this evening. And I also want to kind of finish off the show tonight, Ethan, and do a lowdown of everybody that's come in, everybody that's gone out, because there's a lot of deals that have been done. And some deals that we've done where we've seen players come in and go straight out. So we need to try and cover everything. We can have a look at what's been spent. But make sure you do get involved in the comments box below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to the Football Martin channel. Looking to get 2,000 subscribers as soon as I possibly can. And the aim is to try and get 10,000 in the next 12 months. If I can get to 10,000 by the end of the season, I'll be a very, very happy man. If you're not following me on TikTok, make sure you go over to TikTok. Give me a follow on TikTok. Exactly the same username. I'm posting 3 to 4 videos a day on there. Loads of interaction. You can get involved in loads of different bits and bobs over on there as well. Also, a shout out to Ethan and Jimmy. Make sure you go give those guys a follow. Both their handles are on the screen. They're both content creators around Southampton, the club that I support as well. We're all very different in the way that we go about our content creation and what we produce. So you get a different edge on things each week. And we all team up. We all come together and we create shows like this. So it's an absolute privilege to be here this Friday evening. It's so much better than being behind the bar serving drinks. Right, guys, get involved in the comments box below. Ethan, what do you have? You have anything else that's happening right now?
Nothing breaking apart from Chelsea are close to agreeing a deal for Jadon Sancho. It's been what they've been talking about all day. It's been mainly one of the biggest headlines after Osimhen. The Osimhen deal, as Jimmy said, I think is off. But no, and then again, it's just Raheem Sterling. That deal looks like it's going to happen. It'll be I think it's same as a Dozy touch and go. But yeah, and also Reece Nelson is going for his medical at Ipswich. Yeah,
Reece Nelson's going to Ipswich. Talk to me about the transfer window at Ipswich. We'll go through all the incomes and outgoings shortly, but it's been really busy. We'll have a little bit more of a detailed look at it. I was hoping that Alex Griffin might join us. We're going to take a break at 10:30 for around 10 to 15 minutes, guys. So stay tuned. Make sure you keep the stream open. I'm not going to end it. And I'm going to try and get Alex Griffin on at some stage this evening from Ipswich because I want to really get his insight on it as well. I'm hoping to actually bring a couple of more creators in as well, teams that can promote with us. I hope to get Jack from the Final Whistle and a couple of others if I can. Yeah, thoughts initially on Ipswich. Do you think they've done too much business? Maybe Ethan. A lot of signings made by Ipswich.
I think it's very similar to that season Nottingham Forest first got promoted. I think they made like 27 to 30 signings. I think Ipswich have fallen into that same boat. It's real. I feel for them. I do think they're going to struggle this year. I just don't think their squad's capable enough. They've signed too many championship quality players. Yes, you could say we have with the likes of Flynn Downs, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, but in those first 2 games, Flynn Downs has showed why he's a Premier League quality player. Taylor Harwood-Bellis,
I
not so
agree.
much. I think he's going to ease into the league. But no, I think Ipswich have overspent on too many championship quality players. Jack Clark, Jacob Greaves, I just don't think they're Premier League standard players. But we'll see. Obviously, they're pointless like us from the first 2 games. Don't know who they've got this weekend, but it'll be a very interesting weekend.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. Jimmy, have you taken much of a look at what Ipswich have been up to this window? Obviously, we saw a lot of them in the Championship last season. Southampton beaten by them twice, the 1-0 defeat down at St Mary's early on in the season, and then that awful last minute winner that they scored against us in that thriller at Portman Road at the back end of the season. What were your thoughts on them last year and obviously this year as well?
I think they were a decent team. Obviously, they did an amazing job last year, but maybe a bit of a Burnley situation. That obviously they've signed Delap, haven't they? Who we were after, apparently.
Yeah, we've been linked with him numerous times over the last couple of years, actually.
Yeah, I think that was probably a get out of jail free card with that one. And then the other one that they've taken, Man City, ex-Man City. What's his name? Midfielder Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips. He's got a lot to prove, by the way. Hasn't he? A lot to prove.
They're kind of
as
the
a
main
player.
ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're the main ones. Other than that, I think they signed another goalkeeper, Muric. And
yeah, Muric. He was from. I think he was Burnley, wasn't he? He was from Burnley.
Blackburn.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was with a bigger team a few years ago, though. He was looking quite good.
Yeah, Southampton were linked with him, and a lot of Southampton fans quite fancied him coming in. I think we've got out of all the clubs that have done business, we've definitely got the best goalkeeper in.
I think, yeah. I don't want to sum it up already, but what a transfer window so far for us.
Yeah,
I think
if I had to choose one Premier League club, I do think we have won the transfer window out of all of them. 100%. I think we have. I think we've made some really, really crucial signings. If we can get this Cornet deal over the line, I think we'll be looking at a 9.5 out of 10 transfer window. It's been really good, but with outgoings, I think it's been poor. I think there's so many players we could have got rid of. Tall Paul.
Yeah. Night Owl's in the comments box below. Night Owl, yeah, it's a Paul Onuachu staying. It's been very quiet from Transport, isn't it? On Paul Onuachu. Definitely could have used his height. I still think he's a weapon that you could use. Absolutely, we spent a lot of money on the boy. We've seen nothing of him at all. I don't think Russell will play him, but he's a different option. Yeah, I just don't think he'd play him.
We could have really used him. Again against Forest, we're playing out wide. There's no one in the middle. We're still trying to ping balls into somebody. And do you remember when Crouchy sort of used to come on? When he was a bit older, and he would just cause chaos in the box.
Yeah,
and when you, especially even with Newcastle, when we 10 men, we're trying to break down their defense, and they've got 2 units in the middle. And centre backs, they're playing a low block. You stick somebody in there, and all of a sudden, 2 of them are having to mark that one guy because of his height. One to pull, one to push him, and put him off. And all he's got to do is get a touch and lay it off to somebody else, and you've got a gap that opens. And I think that's maybe a tactic that we're missing out on by not playing him. Armstrong's far too small in them situations. To put in the middle, maybe even Archer at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think the Turkish window is open a lot later than the Premier League.
It's a bit longer, isn't it? It's open that little bit longer, isn't it?
I think it's Monday or Sunday night, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tall Paul does go. Potentially could loan off some players to Göztepe as well. And I think that could be what they could do. I generally think it could be a a decision they make. But who do you send on loan there? That's the question.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're going to take a break in around 5 minutes time, for around 10-15 minutes, but please do stay on the live. We want to keep as many of you here as we possibly can. Keep a tab open. There's 144 of you joining us this evening, so thank you all very much for joining us. I just saw on Sky Sports News they're saying that Raheem Sterling, he's very close to that Arsenal move now. Very close. Really surprised at that one.
Yeah.
Napoli signed midfielder Billy Gilmore. I saw that one a little while ago. Interesting one there. McTominay's left Man United, I think, Ethan, as well, hasn't he? Played Man United after the international break, Southampton. Where did he go? Napoli?
Napoli, yeah. Really big welcome for him. Also, I've got another bit of breaking news. No agreement between Chelsea and Napoli over the deal for Victor Osimhen. Obviously, Al Hilal did have a agreement in place, but I think they chose to go for Tony instead. Be really interesting to see how this one unfolds in the next half an hour. But potentially, Fabrizio said the deal was looking unlikely at this moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what's a weird one for me? I think Sancho going to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
with all the
really
firepower
weird.
they've got, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful because Sancho at times has looked incredible.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really done anything, has he, for a couple of years? And why do Chelsea want him when they're buying all of these other players? What's he offering? It's a funny one.
Yeah, it is a strange
And they're
one.
also
Chelsea
offering
are close
Sterling
to
as
doing
well.
it as well, aren't they?
Really
They're
weird.
really close to doing it. Really close to doing it, they're saying. On the deadline day countdown on Sky Sports News, which is on my left. I'm watching it. Chelsea goalkeeper Petrovic joins RC Strasbourg. They've got a lot of goalkeepers there, haven't they? Talking about goalkeepers, actually, obviously we signed Aaron Ramsdale. Neto at Bournemouth, who I thought was quite good last week. He's gone to Arsenal. So obviously, I think that helped pave way for Ramsdale to come to us. But yeah, he went there today. No option or obligation to buy. I quite like Neto as a goalkeeper, but going to go from being a number one to being a number two. Might get a bit of cup football. But yeah, he's moved. This is a great photo, guys, by the way, that I've just seen drop on X.
Yeah.
This one here of Russell Martin with his arm round Ryan Fraser, ex-teammates when they were in the Scotland national side. Russell Martin wearing a beautiful white and silver Puma King jersey in this photo. Really great photo, that
nice.
one. Yeah,
That's
courtesy of
that's a really nice pick here.
yeah, really nice. That image courtesy of Matt Watson and Southampton Football Club for the credits on that. Also, the image to the right hand side as well. I'm sure they won't mind me sharing these images. Just as we're bringing a bit of breaking news, we're not making any money off this. We're just fans here talking about football. Chloe's in the chat. Thank you for joining, Chloe. It would be interesting to see how Brentford will be like us against tomorrow without Tony. Well, we'll talk about that the other side of our break, because we have our one and only break this evening, around a minute away. Make sure you stay tuned. And if you do jump off, make sure you come back on. We're going to be live again. We're going to keep the stream running, but we'll be back on from around 11:15. And then we will go over the game tomorrow. We'll go over the whole transfer. There's probably a good 3/4 of an hour of chit chat to have. Guys, you have been absolutely brilliant. Hope you can stay with me for the second part of the show. But for now, we're going to take a break, guys. Hope you're enjoying our amateur deadline day special here on the Football Martin channel. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. Guys, I'll see you the other side of this break.
See you in a minute.
It is a deadline day special on the Football Martin YouTube channel this evening. Make sure you join us again from 22:45. We're going to be chatting all things Southampton transfers, loads going on, so much happening. Sam Adozi could be on his way to Rangers. Ryan Fraser's in the door. Maxwell Cornet. Join us if you can over on YouTube. We are live again from 22:45, 10:45, with everything around Southampton and deadline day. Ryan Fraser in the door. Maxwell Cornet is close. We'll find out more as and when that one happens. We're just following everything on social media, and I'm with Ethan and Jimmy, and we're just chatting on a live at the moment on YouTube. If you want to join us, be there. If you fancy, join us over on YouTube right now. We're going to be live again from 10:45. I'm with Ethan. I'm with Jimmy. We're chatting all things Southampton. We're going over deadline day. Sam Adozi's on the verge of going to Rangers. Ryan Fraser's in. Maxwell Cornet. It's going to be tight, but we're just going to watch Twitter. We're going to be all over it. Southampton fans chit-chatting away in an amateur deadline day special over on my YouTube channel. Join us if you can. If you fancy, join us over on YouTube right. I put that on my. If I know it. I know it, don't I? Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the second part of Deadline Day live on the Football Martin Channel, being broadcasted on YouTube and Facebook. I am joined by some special guests tonight. Two Southampton content creators are in the house with me this evening, and we are going over everything that is happening in and around Southampton. And could be a busy 15 minutes or so. We're going to cover everything that's happened today, everything that may happen in the next few minutes. The window what closes in around 15 minutes time. Let's get Ethan back in. Let's get Jimmy back in, who spent the first hour and a bit with me. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming back to join us. We've got 92 live watchers on YouTube. We had around 150 earlier. I'm sure many people will join us over the next hour or so. We'll probably be here for around another hour. There's plenty to talk about. We're going to go over everything that's happening right now. Right, let's just recap on the latest breaking news. The ticker is going to be updated throughout the show as well. As you can see, and I've just took some confirmation via a text message as well, that Aaron Ramsdale was involved in the team meetings today ahead of the trip to Brentford. The registration has been done. They have got their paperwork in on time, Southampton. And Aaron Ramsdale was told earlier on this afternoon that pending the approval, which they have got from the Premier League, Aaron Ramsdale will make his Southampton debut at Brentford tomorrow afternoon. So delighted to have Aaron Ramsdale at the Saints, and even more delighted that he make his debut tomorrow, Ethan. Excited to see the big man between the sticks tomorrow.
Yeah, really exciting. Offers a lot of Premier League experience. We talked about Aaron a lot at the start of the show with Jay. But no, I think it's going to be really, really exciting as a Saints fan to see him come in tomorrow. Bit of a shame for McCarthy, but because he did have a really, really good end to the season. Obviously, came in for Gav. But no, I think you do need to stick Aaron Ramsdale in, because, to be honest, if we can take a point into the international break, I'll be happy. Or even if we just finish, if we're not in the relegation zone, I'll be really, really happy. Bit of breaking news as well. Sam Edozi's deal to Rangers is very touch and go, and potentially they could be pulling out of the deal.
Yeah, I did hear that. This kind of come from nowhere, this one. I had a text a minute ago from a friend of mine. He said it was going to be touch and go as well. But yeah, looks like he could be going out on loan. Game time is going to become really limited now if he stays as a Southampton player, isn't it? You wouldn't expect him getting a huge amount of game time. The breaking news in the last hour, Ryan Fraser has come into Southampton. He signed on a 2-year contract after his contract at Newcastle United was terminated by mutual consent. So he is now a Southampton player, signs on a 2-year deal. They agreed that apparently back in June, I was reading that personal terms, he was just waiting for that agreement with Newcastle to be released. We spoke about Sam Edozie. The other one is Maxwell Cornet. He could potentially come in. They have submitted a deal sheet, Ethan, apparently, haven't they? You were all over this a short while ago. Is this one any closer to happening, do you think?
No, just had a tweet, as Alex put in the chat. It's doubtful, very doubtful.
Is it?
Yeah, I generally think this deal is going to collapse. It's a shame. But to be honest, other than if we have the Burnley Maxwell Cornet, I would say, yeah, 100% bring him in. But he's so injury prone. I think Cornet, if he does get done, I think we won't hear an announcement until tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when we hear about all these deals. One man that did leave earlier on today. We haven't had loads of exits. I expected, Jimmy, a lot of exits today. I thought Paul Inuachu would go, Armal Bella Kotchap, potentially Kamaldeen Suleiman, and there'd be no whispers around any of these lads at all. Southampton have a really, really bloated squad right now, and I did expect a few to go out the door, which hasn't happened, has it? Are you surprised?
A little. I thought some of these boys would be a bit harder to get rid of. Sulemana hasn't really even featured that much, has he? He's not really even been in the squad. So he's not been in the shop window. He's an expensive buy, but whether we're holding out for a certain price for him, I don't know. Inuachu, again, there's probably some to-in and fro-in with Turkey, I reckon, on that one. And Bella, I've not heard anything or any rumours at all for him. So maybe we're just trying to hold out for kind of too much and maybe what we paid for them, which was a lot.
Yeah, they're just trying to recover losses, I would imagine, Ethan, and it's always the case. Done very well. We didn't talk about the outgoing Sekou Mara, have we? £10 million for him. I thought the club did very, very well to fetch anywhere near £10 million for the player, who, to be quite honest, was awful, wasn't he?
Yeah, didn't live up to it in the Championship. Scored some tapping goals. At least he did score. But now he didn't offer anything. He looked lackluster. He was lazy. And I think to get 10 mil for him is an absolute steal. To be honest, I reckon we could have sold him for a tiny bit more because he's still young. But I mean, 10 mil, we'll take it. It just goes towards the Ramsdale deal, which happened. And I was hoping to hopefully have another permanent transfer in, obviously Ryan Fraser, but that's on a free. Potentially someone with bringing in with lots of money. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Cornet now looking like the last one for Southampton to get done.
Yeah, Ryan Fraser in. There's just confirmation of it on the right-hand side of your screen. I've just popped it up. Ryan Fraser signed a 2-year contract at Southampton. He becomes a permanent Southampton player. Ryan Fraser said he's probably the happiest man in Southampton at the minute. Well, I think there's a lot of happy Southampton fans today because we did make that signing at lunchtime today of Arsenal and England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, who become a Southampton player. What a day it's been for the football club. What a signing this one is. The 26-year-old England international Aaron Ramsdale penned a 4-year deal at St Mary's and gives Russell Martin a massive boost ahead of that big game tomorrow at Brentford, where Southampton will be looking for their first points and their first goal of the season so far. Southampton really do need to get things up and running, Ethan, tomorrow. To get a point on the board would be nice tomorrow. To get out of there with something would be amazing. An extremely tough place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Brentford community, it's really tough. Last 2 games you've had there, both been 3-0, 3-1. I think one was 3-1, one was 3-0. But we can see goals there. Brentford Community Stadium, I see, is a really, really tough place to go.
Yeah, I do.
I'll be happy to get a point, to be honest. I would hope for 1-1 because it would be nice to get a goal under the belt. But I think it depends what Brentford side show up. Obviously, potentially could be deflated after just losing Tony, but I think they expected that.
Yeah. A lot of their fans are delighted that he's going, aren't they? The podcast I was on the other day, they were chuffed. They just want rid of him. They just had a gutful of it.
And to be honest, when I look at that Brentford side, there's no one that stands out and go, "Oh, we're going to be scared of him." To be honest, I think if they still had Tony, I think, oh yeah, obviously everyone would pick up Tony, but obviously I don't think they have a danger man anymore. And Wemmer obviously looks
really good.
Wemmer looks like a good, yeah, he looks good, but I wouldn't see him as a danger because we've got Aaron Ramsdale between the sticks now. So
yeah. Does give us that added boost. I'm intrigued tomorrow to see what Russell does actually in terms of system, because I'm not convinced he can go in and play a 5 at the back in this one, not against a side that would be quite physical in midfield. I think we need that extra midfielder. We need somebody that a little bit higher up the field. You need to find a way to certainly accommodate our new man, Cameron Archer, who looked really, really good against Cardiff in midweek. It took his goals really, really well. Good signing earlier on the window, 15 million from Arsenal, Jimmy. Good bit of business, but you need to get him in the side tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how he does starting against a Premier League team. And, they've got Pinnock and Collins at the back.
Yeah.
So, they're a fairly robust team, aren't they, Brentford?
Yeah, so, they are.
But I think looking at some of the players that we've just brought in, if the boss plays the right squad or the right team, they don't look like the worst team right now for us. I think we could, as Ethan says, I think we could do something here.
Yeah,
I'm being a bit optimistic, and but I think now is the time that there could be a change in the squad. There could be a bit of a feel-good factor. Got some good players and some good optimism there for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's an interesting game. I'm at a wedding tomorrow, so I'm going to be trying to grab bits of it on my mobile phone as long as I can get signal tomorrow. But it's difficult. I don't think I've missed a game in over 10 years. If I've not been there, I've watched it on the stream. I found a way to watch it. So even at a wedding tomorrow, I will have it in my close to me. My phone will be close to me, charged and ready to go tomorrow. Ethan, are you travelling to Brentford tomorrow for the game? Or are you going to be watching from home?
No, I'm sadly not going to be going. I've been to the Brentford Community Stadium the last 2 times. Now that we signed Ramsdale, I would have liked to have gone, but the ticket allocation is ridiculous for these small grounds. Brentford and Bournemouth are the 2 of the most toughest grounds to get tickets for. I've been lucky to go for the last 2 seasons, but shame about this time, but it's not the end of the world. bit of breaking news as well. Sterling's having his medical. Does that deal like it's going to go through as well?
Yeah, we've got somebody in the comments box below. Thank you for everybody tuning in live on YouTube and Facebook. Predominantly viewers from YouTube. We've got 133 of you in, so thank you all very much indeed. Do get involved in the comments box below. Give us your thoughts to our transfer window so far. Anything you feel that we should have done. Anybody you're not happy about that have come in, you can give us your view. This show is by the fans for you, the fans. So we want you guys to get involved. There is somebody in the comments box below just said a Dozy to Rangers is a no-go, and that's on TalkSport. I don't have TalkSport on, unfortunately, so I can't cross-reference that, but that's what they're saying, Ethan.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier on, the Dozy deal did look like it was going to go through, but I think with 3 minutes left of the window, I think Rangers would struggle to get that deal over the line, even with a deal sheet. Alex Crick said, yeah, Dozy's no go. So Dozy deal off, basically.
So you would imagine that the Cornet deal is probably off then. Do you think that that's half the reason that the Cornet deal hasn't happened is because Southampton were probably waiting to see what they were going to do with Sam Dozy before committing to Cornet, because obviously we've got a bloated squad already. And how do you manage a squad and a wage bill that we're going to end up with?
I think they were expecting at least a winger to go out on loan. They've come out and said Sulemana's not going anywhere this window. That was breaking in the last 20 minutes or so. But I think Saints were prepared for a winger to go. Adozy probably being that one. And I don't think the Cornet deal is to do with the Adozy deal. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I just think that Saints just haven't given themselves enough time. But it seems weird because we had so much time. We had the whole morning. I think it was in breaking news this morning that Saints said he was going to be travelling down for a medical. But it's what it is. I don't think he'll offer much. I think he's kind of another Sulemana. But I wouldn't be against. I'm not against him signing. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Jimmy, your thoughts if Adozy stays? Do you think he gets any game time?
Yeah, I think he'll get game time. Maybe not starting, but I definitely think he'll be coming on as a sub, unless he completely flumps. I think Cornet, it wasn't the most exciting deal, again loan, but I think with Ryan Fraser signing, Adozy staying, they're both wide guys. I don't think Cornet is particularly faster. He might be a bit more direct than Adozy, but I think Ryan Fraser can fill that gap from Cornet for sure. I have just seen some breaking news that West Brom are relegated. They've just signed Mason Holgate from Everton on a loan for the season.
Mason
have they? Yeah, that's an interesting signing for Mason Holgate. It's last chance saloon, surely, for Mason Holgate. You've got to say, Jimmy, he had a torrid time out on loan at Southampton from Everton. He had a torrid time at Sheffield United last season, the side that got relegated last year from the Premier League with a record, lowest points tally. They were absolutely woeful, weren't they? He needs to get his career going pretty quickly, otherwise it's going to be game over.
I've just seen La Liga, the transfer window shut, but by my clock it's 22:59, so that's typical Spanish fashion. They've closed early.
Yeah,
29 seconds. Yeah. Bit of breaking news: Osimhen deal was off. That was announced 18 minutes ago by Fabrizio. That would have been a really tough one to get through. Saints have also signed some Scottish guy, not some 18-year-old on loan. Don't really know much about him.
Just for the under 20, for the under 21s. Yeah,
we've got 8 seconds.
Yeah, Sky Sports are all over it. They're waiting to see these deal sheets. They've even got David Prutton in their studio now.
Yeah, I've seen that. Forest. That's good. That's a decent signing.
But that's not Morata.
Deadline day is done.
So really interesting. All we're waiting for now is confirmation. Yeah, is Ward-Prowse's deal to Nottingham Forest done? Because there hasn't been an official announcement on that one yet, is there? Obviously, he was at the City ground this evening they showed him on many of the outlets going into the club. He passes medical, no problem at all. He's fit as a fiddle, isn't he? It's just a case of whether it went through.
Breaking news: Reece Nelson, Amanda Brozier to Ipswich. Both deals are off. So Reece Nelson will be playing at Arsenal. Both off.
Yes, really, mate. That is interesting. So Amanda Brozier's stuck at Chelsea, and the Nelson deal is off as well. So Ipswich didn't get either of those over the line. They've done some serious business. I have actually sent an invite this evening to Alex Griffin to see if he would come on. I'm not sure if he will do. I think he's busy, but he may join us. You never know within the next half an hour or so. Ipswich fumbling, at the very last minute. They've done well in the window. We'll look at the weekend's fixtures, actually. I think they've got another tough fixture this weekend. I think got Fulham home this weekend. Not an easy fixture. A little bit like Southampton. No points on the board yet. They have scored a goal. They maybe scored a couple of goals, but they scored the one goal, haven't they? Scored the one at City. They didn't score in the first game against Liverpool, but there's always going to be a tough 3 games for them. Tough 3 for Southampton. Everton, Leicester, and Ipswich all to go down. Says saying in the comments box. Somebody else said, Alex has said that at Football Martin, a different source says that a dozy is still happening. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We're going to be live for a little bit longer, so we can stay all over it. We can stay all over this.
Message on the Echo from Alfie House. Saints have submitted a deal sheet to give themselves more time to complete the Cornet loan. Now we wait. Interesting.
Yeah.
Southampton did sell today Jayden Magatoma. Brentford have signed the fullback Jayden Magatoma from Southampton on a 4-year contract. Thomas Frank described Jayden as one of the biggest left-back talents this country has. Interesting statement from him. But Jayden Magatoma goes out the door for $5 million. And there could be a potential $5 million in add-ons with this deal as well. Very good bit of business from Southampton to get that in for Jayden Magatoma. The 10 million in for Sekumar as well. And we will pop it on the right-hand side of your screen very, very shortly of all the outgoings at Southampton, because I don't believe there's been any more since I typed this up earlier on today. So all the outgoings are on the right-hand side of your screen. Started with Stuart Armstrong back at the end of the season. He was out of contract. Roman Porro, he was sold for 2.95 million. We had Shea Adams. He went out on a free. Dejan Kaletakar, we got 3 million for. Club didn't even put any details out on their social media when he left. Lianco, 3.8. Lewis Payne's gone out on loan. Masuki, he come in. Southampton purchased him. Not sure what the transfer fee was, but he went straight back out on loan. Maybe to one of the clubs that are linked in with Southampton. Maybe Gasopi. I can't remember, Ethan, where he went. Cameron Bragg's out on loan. Nico Lawrence has gone out on loan. Don Ballard went to Blackpool on loan. He scored a really good goal the other week. Diamond Edwards, he's been released. He's gone on a free. Wan come in and has gone straight out on loan. He's a striker. Sekumar, we got 10 million for. Mateus Liz, undisclosed. We don't know how much we fetched for him. Shea Charles has gone out on loan to Danny Rowles, Sheffield Wednesday. Wish him all the best for the season ahead. He's a great lad. Carlos Alcaraz, we fixed. We got 15 million. Could potentially rise to that, I should say 20 million for him and Jayden Magatoma, who I just spoke about. We've got 5 million with him and another 5 million add-on. So that is all the outgoings. I think I've covered it, everyone. KWP staying is absolutely correct.
Ward-Prowse has just been unveiled as a Forest player. It looks so weird seeing him in another red colour. Weird.
It is a weird one. So he has completed his move to Nottingham Forest, who looked really good at St Mary's last week. We were super impressed with them, weren't we, Jimmy? Really good side. Played some really good football at St Mary's last week under a manager that's certainly starting to make his mark at the Forest ground.
Yeah, I think he could do some really good work there.
Yeah, I do.
I just saw, sorry, a bit off the point, but that Reece Nelson deal, that Forest have done an agreement. That's weird, isn't it? I've not really seen somebody jumping straight on it.
Fulham. Fulham. I've got it here. Reece Nelson's
wouldn't you have to get there for a
Ipswich deal off?
You have to get over there for a medical straight away.
Yeah, I
think
wonder
the
how it
medical
happens.
can be
It's interesting.
done.
Wonder how they do it when you've not
Yeah,
had a medical.
I think the medical can be done in the time of
Somewhere
the deal
else.
sheet.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he could probably have it. What if he travelled to Ipswich? He could probably have his medical in Ipswich.
Maybe you don't
Or
even
if
need to have a medical. You can just say we'll sign him unconditionally.
yeah, because the medical only benefits the club he's going to. Really, it just depends. Like if he's match fit.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
think
a weird
anyway.
one.
Prowse at Forest. I think that's good for
Yeah.
Forest, to be honest.
Yeah,
He's just had a
signing
little
for
bit to say, but I'm just reading the press release actually that that's on the Nottingham Forest website. And James Ward-Prowse said, "I'm delighted to be here. When I knew I had the opportunity to join the club and come and show what I can do, I thought it was a fantastic opportunity. Having played Nottingham Forest a few times, the atmosphere here is one of the best I've played in the Premier League. So now to hopefully experience that week in, week out is something really special." Their chief officer, Ross Wilson, added, "We're thrilled to welcome James Ward-Prowse to Nottingham Forest this evening. Everyone is familiar with James's talent in the Premier League, along with his strong leadership and personal qualities. He's someone I've known for a long time. And as soon as the opportunity to bring James arose, Nuno and our ownership moved very quickly. So a really good move for him." Ross Wilson, he was at Southampton, I believe, wasn't he? Their chief football officer. So that's how he would know James Ward-Prowse. I'm right in saying that, aren't I, Ethan? He was at
I believe he was.
Yeah, he was at Southampton.
Poached away, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to. Did he go to Rangers for a period of time? Am I right in saying that?
Yes, I think he did, and then Forest went in for him. I think.
Yeah.
And going a bit off topic of this, there has been bits of breaking news from Mark at Sky. The deal
Mark
sheet has gone
McAdam.
through. It's gone through the deal sheet, and the Rangers deal for Dozy is completely off. So Dozy will not be going anywhere.
So yeah, Alex is in there. Saints News and View says a Dozy is off. Interesting. Interesting. Ross Wilson was our transfer guy when we signed Stuart Armstrong. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was. So that kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? That is correct. Aaron Ramsdale is registered in time to play tomorrow. That is correct. Aaron Ramsdale will make his Southampton debut tomorrow. They did it all in time. Alex from the Echo, Alfie from the Echo. Sorry, I think he's already pumped that out. I think to confirm that as well. So that's brilliant news. I hope you're all enjoying tonight's transfer deadline day content creators special on the Football Martin channel. It's probably the first of its kind. Just a one-off special show, just talking about transfers in and around our club. There's been quite a busy day, so I thought this was a good opportunity to bring a couple of my friends together. Ethan and Jimmy. Make sure you go give them both a follow. Their handles are on the screen. Ethan is Saints FC Vlogs. Jimmy is at the Jimmy Cheese. At Jimmy Cheese. It's a brand new channel on YouTube. He's a content creator. We all create Southampton content in our own ways, slightly different, but we're all well worth a follow. So make sure you go give us a follow. Subscribe to our channels, and we will be delighted for another follower. That is for sure. Right. We're coming to the back end of the show now with my guests. So we're going to quickly recap all the incomings at Southampton and just go over who's come in. We've gone through who's gone out, but it'd be good to go through who's come in. And what we'd like you to do is get involved in the comments box below and give us a ranking out of 10 how you believe Southampton's transfer window has been. So I want a ranking out of 10, 1 to 10, 10 being the best. How would you rank this window? I'm going to start with you, Ethan, top right of my screen. How do you rank this window out of 10?
I mentioned it previously, Martin. I believe we are the winners of the window. I think we've got the deal of the summer. Out of the lower half teams of the Premier League, I do think we do have the deal of the summer. I would say the biggest deal overall, the biggest winner, I would say, is City getting Gundogan. I think that's brilliant bringing him back. But no, I think Saints have won the transfer window overall. I think Downs has shown he's a Prem quality player in the first couple of games. Ryan Fraser, he's done it in the Prem before. I would imagine he can do it again. Taylor Howard-Bellis bring that youthful, and obviously the signing of Aaron Ramsdale from Arsenal is really big, really massive. And obviously we talked about him earlier on, and I'm really, really excited to see him play tomorrow versus Brentford.
Yeah, no, me too. How do you sum it up, Jimmy? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we've got rid of a few bits of players. Some have gone on loan. I thought it was a bit odd. Some of the Brazilian lads that they've brought in, sent back on loan. I think we're meant to be getting one back in January, perhaps. But I thought
Is it
maybe we
one?
did
Was that
spend
what?
a
Was
bit of
that
money.
one? Was it? Was that one?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
it
Yeah,
was
the
one and
striker.
two.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a few of them that we've brought in. That's for sure.
yeah, but they've gone straight back out on loan. So we've got one. I would say pretty good. We haven't signed a big striker though.
No, that's
So
probably my biggest disappointment. For me, is probably a striker.
yeah,
On the right hand
concern.
side of the screen, I've added everybody in this list. I believe that's coming in that's going to make an impact in this squad. I haven't included the players that have come in and gone straight back out. Adam Lallana on a free. Taylor Harwood-Bellis 20 million. Nathan Wood 3 million. Ronnie Edwards 3 million. Charlie Taylor coming in a free from Burnley to play at left back. There wasn't any talk on Ryan Manning today because we thought Ryan Manning was going to potentially go out on a loan. Southampton quite heavy with left backs at the moment with Carl Walker-Peters playing there. Flynn Downsy come in on a permanent for £18 million. Yuki Sigurara, we paid £6 million for him. The right back, he started both the games in the Premier League so far. Ben Brereton Diaz come in for £6 million, which is an absolute snip from what we've seen of him. Leslie Ugachukwu is coming on loan from Chelsea. Looks a very, very exciting prospect. Cameron Archer, £15 million from Aston Villa. He looks like the real deal. Mateus Fernandes, who we're really impressed with, £12 million signed earlier on this week. The big one today, goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale comes in for 18 million. And finally, this evening, we have Ryan Fraser on the bottom there, who's coming on a free transfer. I haven't added Cornet at the moment because it hasn't been confirmed. That wraps up all our incomings at St Mary's.
So the other Wellington left back.
Yes, straight on
from
loan,
Sao
wasn't
Paulo. That's the other one that came in and went out again.
Got some news. Cornet is breaking news, actually. By the way, sorry to interrupt, Jimmy. Adam Blackmore has confirmed the deal sheet has gone through, and Cornet is expected to become a Southampton player very shortly. So that's done.
Yeah, it's really good. I think all in all, a really, really, really good window. Saint 194 said if Cornet is in, then change mine to a 7.5 to an 8. Yeah, I'd say it's a good 8.5 for me. I just think we probably miss a striker. We're going to need Ross Stewart to come back and be fit and be lively for us, because I think it's going to be really, really important that we actually get something out of Ross Stewart right now. We are going to need to see the player that we signed. That's for sure, because he has not done anywhere near enough. Harrison is in the comments box below. Harrison, I'm going to ping you over if you want to come on, Harrison. I think, Ethan, you've got to go very shortly, haven't you? Harrison, if you wanted to come on and give us your thoughts, that would be really, really good. I will. I've got my phone I'm using as a camera, so I can't send you a link. I probably need to need to find a way to send you a link, which I'll try and do in a second. So if you want to come on, you can. Ethan, if you need to go, feel free to go. You've got a busy day.
I'm going to jump off.
I know. Yeah. Jimmy, are you right for a minute? Do you want to stay on for a minute?
Yeah, I'm happy here, mate.
Yeah. Ethan, I want to thank you for your time tonight. It's been really good to have you on the live. Everybody, give him a massive thanks for coming on. We do this free of charge. We don't get paid to do this. We don't have any sponsors. So if you want to come on and sponsor the Football Martin channel, it'd be absolutely amazing. And I can pay these guys for their time because they've given me 2 hours and a bit of their time this evening. So I really, really appreciate Ethan's time. Ethan, my friend, thank you very much indeed. Everybody's saying cheers. Ethan, well done. Make sure you go follow him. Absolute legend. And Ethan, we'll catch up in the week as well. Loads more live streams coming on the channel. So you'll be back without any shadow of a doubt. Thank you, Ethan.
See you all in a bit.
See you, mate. Cheers.
Right, it's me and Jimmy now, and I'm going to see if I can get Harrison over. I'm going to try and ping him a link. He's always got some good thoughts on things as well, and it'd be good to get another Southampton fan in. He's not a content creator, but he's a fan that comes on my channel a fair bit. So I'm going to ping him the ping him the link right now. So yeah, Cornet is going to be a Southampton player according to Adam Blackmore. Really interested in that one. Glad that Saints have been able to get that one over the line. What you feeling about that one, Jimmy? Happy that they've got that one over the line?
Yeah, I am. I think given that we've not bought another striker in, I think he gives us an option up front.
Yeah.
But I really think this is going to come down to tactics now and using these players, because I'm not sure a back five will work for each game. I think it's going to need to be a bit more flexible and maybe go to a back four, use two up top. Someone like Cornet and Archer, I think both of them could play off each other quite well. Brereton, Diaz even up there. I think we've got a bit of flexibility. So I think the manager needs to be flexible in his formations and not just stick to the same one. I just want to say, has everybody seen the tweet from Southampton? By the way, it's got Hagrid and Harry Potter.
I haven't seen that. Is that just gone out?
Mate, it's absolutely brilliant. It went out a few minutes ago.
They've done some really cool stuff today. Yeah, I'll tell you what I do is, for all of you tuning in, I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you. Oh yeah, it's absolutely freaking amazing.
It's a bit silly, but I love it.
It is quite silly, but it is really good. I will grab it now actually, and I'll put it on the screen for you all to see, because it is actually quite funny. Now Harry Potter looked class with a lightning strike. It is a really, really good one actually. I'll see if I can pop it on the screen. I might be able to pop it on the screen so everybody can see it. It is actually quite funny though. Absolutely quality. Alex said it's so funny. Matteo's just giving you a follow. Cheers, Ethan, about to give you a follow. Somebody else said they were going to follow you, Jimmy, as well.
Get on with it. Come on.
Comments.
I just got to 400 subscribers today, so I'm really happy.
Yeah. Who do you think will be left out of our 25-man squad? Oh, yeah, interesting. I think that's a really, really good one. Really good conversation to have, actually. Tall Paul, I think, could definitely be one of those. That's for sure. I do think that he will.
You think he'll be left out?
Yeah, I think Tall Paul will be. I just don't see him fit. I don't know. I might be totally wrong, but I don't see him.
Well, he's been on the bench, hasn't he? But Sulemano hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't been on there. I'm going to try and pop up. This is just going to come anywhere on the screen, by the way. This screenshot that I've just taken of from the Saints website, but there it is. That's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant from the football club. Done some pretty cool stuff today, so fair play to them for what they've done today. So yeah, Ryan Fraser becomes a Southampton player as well. I'm just waiting to see if Harrison got my link to come on. Adozi to be left out. I don't think he'll be left out somehow. I think we're a little bit lightweight in the wide area, so I don't think he will get left out. Ramsdale to produce some magic. Yeah. Hopefully he does produce some magic. I think he will.
I think that's a Harry Potter reference there. Don't let that go unmissed.
Yeah, it is definitely. No, definitely. I've not watched Harry Potter. That sounds really bad. I've never watched it. My daughter, I took my daughters to Harry Potter World because my eldest daughter was massively into Harry Potter a couple of years ago. But I've never really watched it. I think I watched the first 15 minutes of the first one and never watched another one. So I've never watched Harry Potter, but I've been to the studios. Are you a fan, Jimmy?
I for years I said I never would, and then I think I watched episode 7, part 1 at the cinema. It was the first one I'd seen, and it was really good. But being to the ones in America at Universal, just incredible. So yeah, I do like Harry Potter, but I like Hagrid and Harry Potter more now.
Yeah, Hagrid. That was what is that? Who Aaron Ramsdale was dressed as, isn't it? That is who he dressed. He's
the big guy, basically. You're a wizard, Harry. That guy.
Yeah. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Yeah, I need to watch it. I am a huge fan of Harry Potter, says Chloe. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Unuachu, ABK, Silimana all have to be loaned out to Turkey. Yeah, that's a good point because somebody else says Harry Potter's amazing, well worth a shot. No, I will give it a shot. I'll probably watch it with my daughters, I think, because it will be one to certainly watch with the girls. Right, Harrison, I am sending you a link from my phone's been used as a camera, so I'm sending it off my laptop. Whether it delivers or not, I don't know. it looks like the iMessage isn't turned off, so it's trying to send it as a text message. So I don't know if it's going to get you. If not, I'll get you on in the week, Harrison, and we'll have a proper catch up. I really appreciate everyone joining. It's been a great live. I really enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed your first ever live stream tonight, Jimmy? Has it been good fun?
Yeah, it's good. Shame I'm not getting the views, Martin.
Well,
No.
if you sign up to a StreamYard account, you'll be able to broadcast it to your channel as well. So it doesn't matter how many followers you got. If you get a StreamYard account, when you come in, I'm broadcasting this on Facebook. I don't have loads of viewers on Facebook, but on YouTube alone, I think we have around about 124 watching live. So we're at about 150, 160 for a while. So
So
really good.
We can both stream it at the same time, right?
Yeah, you can both stream it. So when I go on Jack's show, I always always stream it because it's really good. It's a really good way to do it.
I think the only person on Facebook is Chloe, who's in the comments, and my mum. And my mum won't be watching.
My girlfriend's watching. I don't think anyone else I know will be watching it other than just the people I know from football and the people that enjoy my content, I think.
What's nice is seeing all the comments, actually. Everybody that's in the comments, and nice community here you've got.
Yeah, no, I've got really good communities, but it took a long time to build it. But we've slowly but surely over the last sort of year persisted with it and kept putting videos out, and everybody seems to like it. So Harrison, I'm just going to give you my email address just to make sure it goes to the right one. My email address is thefootballmartin@gmail.com. So it's thefootballmartin@gmail.com. If you drop me an email on that one, I will ping you a link and we'll get Harrison in to get his thoughts on deadline day. Annika is in. Thank you for joining, Annika. She is watching. She's in the room next door, and I'm in my studio chit-chatting away. Did you see the article I sent you, Martin? Yes, I did. It was really, really good, Alex. Really good. I was going to message you back. Apologies. It's been a crazy, crazy week. It was a really, really good article, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. You should. I'll retweet it for you, actually. Jimmy's got some new subscribers as well, so thank you for subscribing to him. He really, really appreciates it. That is for sure. Right. For the last sort of like 15, 20 minutes, we're going to get another guest on. We're going to get Harrison to join us. I'm just waiting for him to email me now so I can ping him the link. There he goes. Here he says, "Hi, mate, it's me." So I'm just going to send him the link because I know it's him. Right, he has the link. So he'll be joining us very shortly. For the last 15, 20 minutes of tonight's transfer live, we are heading towards 11:30 on Friday night. It's been an absolute pleasure being on it. I tried to send you a super chat, but sadly it's not working tonight. How does a super chat work? I've never what's the super chat, Jimmy? I haven't got a clue.
I think if somebody subscribed or pays to be in your thing, they can join chats.
I get it.
But I
get
think
it.
maybe because this isn't directly through YouTube, it might not come up.
I get it. That's why then.
I think maybe if you're streaming directly from YouTube.
Yeah, JWP is done. We've seen him in his Forest kit. Yeah, I read a little bit of his quotes a short while ago. People give you money and said you highlighted chat. That's nice. Yeah, it was quite a
bit tame.
Yeah,
but that is Prowse. I think he's very media trained. I think.
Yeah, he is very good in the media. Being a captain of a football club as well makes him that little bit more media ready. I can see why he didn't come back. I agree with what you said earlier on in the show, in the first part of the show this evening. It would have been a difficult one for him to come back, even if it was offered to him. With the fact that he'd gone away and not had the greatest season, and we got promoted, went back to the Premier League. A lot of people accuse him of jumping ship, and then to come back, it would have been quite the story. But yeah, I can see why he didn't come back. Right, Harrison's going to join me. We'll get his reaction as well. Jimmy, feel free to stay, but if you want to go at any stage and you've had enough, you've been sat here for 2 hours, it's totally up to you. But Harrison is in. Harrison, cheers for coming on, mate. Really appreciate your thoughts as always. Deadline day is pretty much done. Maxwell Cornet looks like that one's going to be done. Sam Adozie still collapsed at the last minute. Aaron Ramsdale signed this morning. Ryan Fraser's signed an hour ago. It's been a blockbuster day if you're a Southampton fan.
It has. Hi guys. Hi Jimmy. Nice to meet you.
Hi Harrison.
It's been a hectic day, isn't it, as a Saints fan? I think obviously I came on your show in the week and I was quite harsh on the board and the way they've sort of handled certain situations. I think as a fan, I mean, the Ramsdale signing, I was jumping for joy when I saw it this morning. But we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is that neither of you two have watched Harry Potter. And to be honest, I'm disgusted. It's
I've watched it, mate.
outrageous.
Yeah, no, I've seen it.
Okay, good.
But I
Yeah.
wouldn't watch it for absolutely years because I had a good friend who was like, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it." And so no, I started when it came out, episode 7, whatever it is.
Okay.
The seventh film, and then I just thought it was fantastic.
Fantastic, isn't it? It is good.
Yeah, it opens with that wide shot of the beach, and obviously they'd just come through the portal thing. So I was just like, oh, all right, this is all right.
Yeah, definitely the CGI got really good towards the end, didn't it? But yeah, Ramsdale is a massive signing for the club. It's a real statement signing. It's something that as Saints fans we've been begging to happen since the start. And for me, it's a little bit frustrating that, you know, if we went and got him, you know, we could have had him for the first 2 games of the season potentially. But I sort of understand that the fact that we didn't get him at the start has meant that Arsenal have dropped their price on him, making it a little bit more feasible for us. So I sort of understand it. But you just wonder if he was in the door straight away, whether we'd have a point on the board against Newcastle.
Yeah, and it's a good point, actually. It's a good point. I think he's going to be worth points, that's for sure. There's a bit of talk about Amanda Brozier here. I see he's popped up on my screen. I've just put, I've got Sky Sports News on the left-hand side of me. Someone's in the comments box below. Brozier to Everton. That's an interesting one. Didn't expect that one. Really good move for Everton to bring him in if they could get him firing. Very interesting. But carry on, Harrison. Sorry.
Breaking news as it comes. That is an interesting one. I think for us, when we sort of saw him, he got a few goals for us. 9 or 10 goals he got for Saints. And when I saw him a few seasons ago when we were back in the Prem, he was very raw. He came across very raw. He made really good runs. He had good physicality. He could find a finish, but it just felt he was passing it at the wrong times and dribbling it at the wrong times. If you get what I mean when I say that, there were times where you were desperate for him to pass and he was just trying it too much, or there's times where you're desperate for him just to pop a shot and not dribble. And he hadn't honed that yet, and sort of he's gone back to Chelsea, and we haven't seen a lot of him in a Chelsea shirt, and we just yet again he's another question mark over his head, isn't it? There's a lot of transfers this summer that are players with a question mark over their head. I think ego
is a big thing. These guys that have failed, you know, even people like Graziano Pella and things like that. Sometimes, who was a rock star guy that we signed a few years back?
The striker. Osvaldo.
Yeah, Daniel Osvaldo and
Osvaldo.
You know, we've made some of these guys have had amazing potential, even with Brozier, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, Chelsea can't let him go because he's going to be the next big thing." Lavia, for example, as well, and we see him drop off quite quickly. You know, when they go and let their ego get the better of them.
Yeah, it can do.
Consistent game time's a massive thing as well, isn't it? Especially for a player with an ego. You know, Brozier came to the South Coast, and he was started a lot of games, but for a player that was sort of teetering with his ability, you wondered whether Hasenhüttl would have just played him every single game until it worked, or until something clicked. Or I also wonder whether Brozier would actually fit our style. He's a very, very aggressive forward, and sometimes he presses. I noticed before when we had him, he was one of those players that would start the press without looking to see what was behind him.
Everybody else needs to join. I think I'm a tactics guy, and I think that people really need to understand about how a team will press. It's not just about one guy running. You have to do it in banks of 3 or 4, and it's not. And you're running in certain areas, not at one person. You have to be covering certain areas to make sure that they don't slip you. And if you start pressing on your own, you're just going to pull everybody else out of position. And then they can break through even easier because teams these days are training on what to do with a counter press. And you're exactly right. If somebody goes at the wrong time, then that's disastrous.
Unless it's Shane Long, he just seemed to press everyone.
I thought that Forest did that really well last
there.
week against Southampton.
Oh yeah, he did.
Forest were brilliant against Southampton in terms of press. You talk about the press; they pressed in numbers, didn't they? 7s and 8s in midfield. All of them when they didn't give Southampton any room to give them any time to get out. Southampton just couldn't progress from back to front quickly enough, could they? And that's right, Jimmy. I think when you get everybody doing it, it makes a massive, massive difference.
I said about the Forest guys, their front four.
Yeah,
Woods isn't really going to push, but I said about it in like my kind of pre-match walk and talk that I did, and I said that that top area for them, they're going to be hard work, and they pressed us exactly the right time, and that's as soon as that ball left our defender, they pressed us then into that midfield because they knew that our midfielders would flap. When you've got someone like Smallbone, he's just going to turn back to goal.
Yeah,
he's not going to try and take it round or go around the corner. He's just how it works.
Yeah, I agree with this comment from Ben. Notice that most of our summer signings have been Brits. Is that intentional tactic by the club? Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, I think it came out about a year ago that they said that they were going to really focus predominantly on British and Irish players, home sort of like people close to home. It is definitely a tactic, Harrison, isn't it, for sure, from the club?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have exactly. I'm not a content creator, so you guys hear a bit more than me. I just hear sort of drips and drabs. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, a lot of the signings are English that we've signed, so maybe it is some kind of tactic. I'm not the expert on that. I just tried to give my football opinion about the football on the pitch. And last time I came on, I was quite heavy on the board and got a little bit stick for it. But some things I think sometimes need to be said. So yeah,
but you're a fan, aren't you? So that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But we're not pundits or necessarily experts. I mean, I've just started my YouTube channel and followed football for a long time. Play it. No, by no means an expert, and some comments sometimes might be wrong. But I don't think anybody's wrong for having an opinion.
No, I think neither do I. I think my comments were around the board, sort of being really lucky with the Ramsdale signing, that it sort of fell on our lap. We sort of went for a goalkeeper with lots and lots of injuries in the past, thinking that it would be a good option for us, and then inevitably his medical fails, and it felt like it felt like it almost fell into our laps. I don't know what you think about this, Jimmy, but the way I see it is some people have sort of said, oh, they pulled out of it because they knew Ramsdale had become an option, and I just don't know if our board are that shrewd. It felt like to me there was nothing else left, so they were forced to go for Ramsdale and actually put their money in their pockets.
I don't know. I think potentially we weren't even thinking about a goalkeeper until they saw how disgruntled the fans were.
Yeah,
they would have had something in mind.
Same as me.
I think they were hoping that they were going to stick with McCarthy. Wait till
I
also think that Gavin's injuries. I think Gavin's injuries are a little bit more serious.
Gavin's my one of your 25 that isn't going to make it into the squad. That's my guess.
Yeah, I don't think he can't. He's going to be out.
He won't, and I think his injuries probably be a little worse than what we think. To sign Aaron on a permanent contract as well.
Yeah,
I thought you'd come in on loan with maybe some sort of obligation if we stayed up to buy him, but that he's coming on a permanent suggests to me that he will be the number one long term. What that means for Gavin in his long term future, he'll probably move on. Unless Aaron comes in and really impresses and gets another move to one of the top 6 again. But it'd be interesting what happens. I think Ramsdale's coming for a lot of reasons. I think the manager's a massive reason why he's coming. He said that already, that Russell Martin sold him the football club. He said he wanted to play for him. He made him feel 8 foot tall. And he's a brilliant man manager. We know that. But also he's got family down here. He's got a young child as well. He's married, got a house down here. It was a perfect fit for him. Right here, right now in his career, I believe. I think it was just all round. I think a few other clubs come in for him today, or yesterday, and he turned them all down to come here. So he was obviously sold by us.
I couldn't imagine. I know it's football, but I don't think the board and the management are naive enough just to write somebody off. I think they would probably keep the door open and be truthful and say, look, this is our option here. We are thinking about this, but you are so high on our list. We do really want you, but we need to see how this works out long term for the club. And I think the fact that Ramsdale was the right man at the right time for us. I don't think we'd be going out bidding for people like De Gea or things like that.
It's a genius signing. If we actually I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying his club's in the Championship, and he was saying that I can't think of a signing of a team that's come up and has made a signing like that. I said the last two I can think of were Blackburn. When they came up, they went and got Alan Shearer from us, and he went on to do amazing things. And people sort of knew Alan Shearer was going to be obviously a great player, but to go on to the level he did, I think that would be a bit obscene. And then the other one is Van der Sar when he went to Fulham when they came up. And that's the other one that you think, but you have to think Van der Sar at that time was a lot older. We're signing a 26-year-old. We've put him on a 4-year deal. It is a fabulous signing. So I give the board that they've actually got it over the line in the end. But just with the way certain things are handled, and then the other thing that is really annoyed me is that they keep on spilling this PSR line and this FFP line, and then they go and sign players and send them out on loan to one of their other clubs. You can either have one or the other. You can have one or the other. If you're going to spill that line about PSR,
but
you know what I mean? If you're going to say that line, we can't afford a statement player. We can't afford a statement player.
What if you say to clubs, we're going to come out and we're going to go get a goalkeeper, and we've got 30, 40, 50 million. Yeah, we're up for spending that. A club's not going to let you sign Ramsdale for 20. They'd be like, 30. They might. I think there's always that. You don't want to show people your hand.
Yeah, that shrewdness. Yeah.
I think they've got to play it a bit close to their chest, and I think Southampton have pretty much always been very good at holding the cards close to their chest.
Yeah, no, they do. They do. When you look at the window, Harrison, it's closed now. Please, it's closed. The only kind of saving grace, I was just reading a few tweets. The Turkish and Saudi markets are still open, so you could still potentially shift a little bit of deadwood there. Could be potential to try and get Amal Bella-Kotcher out the door, maybe a couple of the others. But the squad feels to me, I thought there was going to be more outgoings today. I thought Ryan Manning might go out today.
So it's a worry.
I thought Onuachu would have gone. I thought Sinamana was always going to be difficult, but I thought there might have been a little bit more movement. Kyle Walker-Peters has stayed in this window. I think that's phenomenal that we've still got him. We need to convince him to sign a contract now, because they're going to lose an absolute fortune on him, because they would have liked to have got some money in for him, but they've got money in elsewhere.
So it's January.
Yeah, there's January to come.
The club gets desperate, injuries, needs a right back. He might come back onto
We paid 13 million or something for him. I think it wasn't it? If he stays till the end of the season, in my opinion, and he does a good job,
he can go on a free.
It's got to be worth it.
He can go on a free. I completely agree.
I don't think
Edward, I'll answer that for you. That one there for Edward. If you want to go to bed now, so I'll let you know. Adam Blackmore tweeted it. They have submitted a deal sheet. He should be announced as a Southampton player. So potentially before midnight, but apparently it's all submitted. They're just waiting for a confirmation, but potentially see a picture of him first thing in the morning, or maybe before we go to bed tonight. Who knows? But there you go, Edward. That's from Adam Blackmore. He's the BBC commentator for Southampton on the South Coast. He's usually quite in the know.
You can sleep in peace.
Can indeed. Yeah, but it's been a really good window. Been a busy one. Back down to business tomorrow, Harrison. We got to go to Brentford. Are you going tomorrow? Are you travelling there tomorrow?
No, I'm not. I couldn't get a ticket. Yeah, again, the same as
Ethan
that was on earlier. They sold out 18. I tried to get a ticket for Bournemouth today through a couple of connections I know, and they've already said that they're struggling, and they went to every game last season, and they're struggling to get a ticket. They reckon it's going to sell out on Monday when it gets down to the 17 allocation. Because almost all of them have gone already.
18.
It's a lot of games. I'm hoping to get a couple of other games this year away. So Brighton would be my next one that I'm going to be trying to get.
When is Brighton? When do we play Brighton?
That's it's on my birthday. It's on the 30th of November.
Yeah,
so it would be nice to be able to go.
I've got it in my head this year, guys. I want to try and do every away game that I possibly can. I don't really want to miss any between now and the end of the season. I'm going to miss tomorrow. We got Man City in a couple of weeks. Quite fancy going up there for that one. Going to try and cover as much as I possibly can, get up and down the country and watch Southampton as much as I can, because I tell you what, I love an away day. I don't know about you guys. There's nothing like an away day as a football fan, is there?
I like it. I like trying the beers that they've got at the stadium. I like a bit of the banter on the way up. When we did Wembley, didn't we, Martin? And
brilliant, wasn't it?
How good a day did we have? That was just spot on.
It was the best day. Well, other than my 2 daughters being born, I'll tell you what, it was the best day of my life. It was absolutely.
And it's close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close. It was just everything about it was just amazing. Newcastle was an amazing way day the other week. I loved every minute of the trip, but it was just a long way to go. But if you're going to go to Newcastle as an away day, go, but stay overnight. I absolutely recommend going and staying.
I went to
Alexi will start tomorrow. Yeah, I do believe you will do. Yeah,
I went to Sunderland last season, all the way up, and I went on a coach. And I can say after losing 5-0 and sitting 8 hours on a coach to then arrive back at, or 7.5 hours on a coach to then arrive back at Southampton at 3 minutes past 10 when you've watched your boat just leave, and you know that you have to stay there for another 2 hours is pretty brutal.
God. Yeah, it's a hard one to take. It is a hard one to take after a tough day. How do you see it going tomorrow? It'd be worth getting the score prediction actually from both of you guys. As we're coming to the back end of the show, we're losing a few numbers now. Still 106 of you in the live, so thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Be really good to get your score predictions for the game tomorrow at Brentford. Southampton head to London in a game where they're looking for their first goal and their first points of the season. Start with you, Harrison. How do you see it unravelling?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? How I hope to see it unravelling and how I see it unravelling might be slightly different at the moment. I just have this feeling with the signings we've got through the door, there might be a little buzz around some of our players, and when there might be this feel-good factor that we might go up there and do a job. I'm hoping that we play back 4. I think that'd be really important. We play with a back 4.
Yeah, I do.
And play 4-3-3 and really get at their defence and try and find those gaps in between their centre back and their fullbacks, because that seems to be an area of weakness for them. I think starting Archer would be my first request, and I'd have Armour on the right, and then I'd have Diaz on the left, and then I'd personally like to see obviously Flynn Downs and Aribo with a potential Tyler Dibbling in the midfield, or maybe instead of Smallbone and instead of Aribo have Tyler Dibbling. It would be interesting to see if he starts there. I think after the full game he played in the week, his fitness is probably going to be a slight concern for Brentford, considering he started to flag towards the end. So I'm thinking maybe he'll come on as a sub, and that he might go to that 4-3-3 with Archer leading the line, trying to get those runs on the shoulder like he did and hurt Cardiff's B team. See if he can do the same sort of runs to hurt Brentford.
Yeah. No,
so I'm thinking.
I agree.
I'm hoping. I always think when Saints score, we look like we're always going to score another one. So I want to say 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to be super positive. 3-1. Saints going to win 3-1 at Brentford. Sounds great.
Yeah, 3-1 would be beautiful, wouldn't it? We'd absolutely take a 3-1 tomorrow for sure. What about you, Jimmy? What are you saying? What's your thoughts?
I kind of think that Russell Martin might not make too many changes.
No, I don't think he will.
I don't feel like he's the kind of man that just wants to make wholesale changes straight away. And instead of a feel-good factor, Harrison, I'd like to see some kind of fight for your jobs kind of factor from like Smallbone, Aribo, because they're the boys now that are most under pressure. I liked Fernandez when he came on the other day. I thought he looked sharp. I thought he looked like a bit of a lump in the middle, like he'll scrap. He looked actually more like a better rounded Alcaraz to me. So you know, just go on.
So I was going to say, I agree with you. He did look very good. It's just hard. You have to sort of taper your expectations when you think about the team we were up against. It wasn't even Cardiff's first team, so it's really hard to sort of gauge where these players are, and it was in a very chaotic match with a lot of the midfield sort of all over the place. That's why the goals
But
was so many of them.
But his attitude,
yeah, I would agree.
Looked sharp. Like he looked sharp. It looked like he, obviously he hadn't done any training, but his attitude looked right. So
Yeah.
I would say,
hungry.
If he maybe played Archer in the middle, we got the balls in. I think we stand a chance, and I think it could be 2-1.
So you're thinking a back four as well then, because we can't play Archer with a back five.
We have to do that, and I think we need to drop Jack Stevens. Not that I think he's made any mistakes or any problems, but we've just got to look at what's working. I think Bednarek you can't drop because he's been fab, and I think Harwood Bellis deserves a bit more. He hasn't done amazing so far this season, but I think back four would work better for him.
I think he's last season he was in phenomenal form at times, especially when we went on that clean sheet run. When we went on those run of games, he looked incredible at times, and his range of passing is very, very good. I don't feel like we're using him to his strengths as much as you said. We're playing him in a back five. He likes to be able to push forward and play that sprayed ball out to the left and right, and there aren't really those runs coming as much. I mean, Diaz is so wide on the left. That's one thing Fraser did. He was wide, and then suddenly he would drop right in and look for the run on the inside.
Yeah, I just want to an observation that I've made, and it might be right, it might be wrong, but that segment of the season where we had that massive run of games where we were winning, Adam Armstrong was in the middle. Everything clicked. That's when we got the bulk of our goals. After that section, and we got figured out basically about teams started pressing us, and they figured us out, and then everybody followed suit after that, and that's when we started dropping away, isn't it? That's when we started putting Adam Armstrong right out on the right. Russell Martin needs to realise that these guys shouldn't be out there. They need to tuck in. I know he's trying to spread the play.
Yeah, he kind of admitted that in his press conference today, didn't he? He kind of come out and actually said that in the press today that it was maybe
they should have been closer.
Yeah, he said they should have been closer.
My thing with that,
he's trying to tuck them in like exactly what Man City does. He wants to tuck them in, keep the other guys out, and push up that midfield. But I'd rather keep Kyle Walker-Peters out on the wide and let him get up and down because he can put a ball in. And I'd rather see the people that can shoot closer into the box. Not touching on the touch line.
Be interesting to see what he does with central midfield tomorrow, because I'm not sure he'll start with Aribo, Smallbone, and Downs again. I'm not convinced it's worked in the first two games. I think Leslie Ogachukwu will be really good. I think he's going to be a really valuable signing. I think he'll actually play a little bit more than we think he will do as well. I don't think he'd throw him in tomorrow. I'm not convinced he'd throw Tyler Dibley in just yet, but I think he's got loads of options now. I think the options are endless with a squad this big. It's a huge squad that he's got to work with. He's going to have to leave people out tomorrow. Ryan Fraser won't make that squad tomorrow. You can't imagine that he's trained a great deal. He's pretty much missed the whole pre-season. Where has he done pre-season? He hasn't been in the door at Newcastle. Somebody said, do I think that Ryan Fraser will feature tomorrow? No, he definitely won't play tomorrow. Absolutely no chance that he'll play tomorrow. I don't think he'll make the bench tomorrow.
He's been with the kids.
He's just been training by himself as well.
Yeah.
So he's being treated really badly out there, hasn't he? Like regardless of what's happening.
They reckon he was I have to be careful what I say because he tunes into the channel, but there's loads of different stories up and around Newcastle, what went on. It's a messy one, but he's a viewer of my channel, so I'm a massive fan of Ryan Fraser and his partner.
It's funny, he was my favourite player to watch last season. He I think he's obviously got a lot of question marks.
High energy.
I think he'll be one of those players biting at the chomp of it, trying to find that chance to really prove himself in the Premier League again. Because I think a lot of people have sort of written him off to see if he can play in the Premier League, which is unfortunate. I thought
he's
a Premier League player
all day long. Yeah, he's a Premier League player all day long. He just needs to get the right tactics and be allowed to do what he does best.
Just going back to what you said a minute ago about that run we went on, something I noticed, which I felt the teams were picking up on, which was when I think we went on that run when we had Adams. Adams was sort of playing that pivot role up front, Shea. And what would happen is, and I've said this on the channel before, Martin, I noticed that when we were being pressed, we sort of do these triangles, don't we, as we try to find space to get the pass out. We do a lot of these triangles at the back until Downs makes space, Stevens makes space, whoever it is, they sort of trying to get on the pivot, play the ball out wide. Teams are starting to learn how to press us and try and stop them. And it felt like Bazunu's last hope of any player is, right, okay, we've run out of chances now, give it back to Bazunu, and he's going to punt it up to Shea Adams, who will then try and hold up the ball. And it wasn't like a big punt. Shea Adams would drop almost, halfway in the halfway pitch, a quarter way down the pitch, into the quarter side of the pitch, and would receive the ball there. And then that would be their last chance saloon, basically, to get the ball out, play in the way. And I felt that teams started to basically keep two men on Adams, so that when they pressed in that way, and they had to punt to Adams, he was getting caught out a little bit towards the end. And I think that's why eventually he ended up dropping Shea Adams for the playoff games, because he needed to try something different.
This is definitely it's about strength, and we've got one of the smallest, more weaker teams, in my opinion. We have had it for years where we're not bruisers, and other teams
probably
really put strong big players on when they know they're playing against us, and really try and out muscle.
Yeah. So this is the point I was literally just about to make from that Saint 194. Brenton Diaz might have that strength, and as well as Cornet.
Cornet
obviously has
to do it now.
It'd be interesting. I wonder whether he'll go and play Armour up in the middle and play Cormer on the right, because I know that sometimes Cornet has been played on the right for other clubs. It'd just be interesting whether he has those two physical ones there, and then Armour making those runs in the midfield. There's a lot of things we can try around with, which I suppose is a good thing for Saints. We've got a lot of options.
The options are endless now.
Do you think we need to keep Kyle Walker-Peters on the right, though? I think losing something difficult, with him on the left.
He does lose something. For me, especially in the Premier League, I think in the Championship, because he was at levels above everyone in the Championship, he cuts inside a lot, and I mean a lot. And in the Championship, he made it look easy. But I think in the Premier League, we've seen a couple of times where he's cut inside. They're better at this game. They read it a lot better. And, I'm worried we're going to start to find out with him cutting in. Him playing on the left actually restricts him from cutting in so much. It sounds awful, but he is sort of just restricted to, playing on the wing, doing good, quick football, build up play, and trying to get the ball in the box.
He's a right footer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So he always has to cut back on his right to play the ball in,
doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult, isn't it? It's For me, I love Kyle Walker-Peters. He's a fantastic player. I think in the Premier League, he cut in too much this season. We went down and we lost the ball a couple of times, and he did it a lot in the Championship last season. But obviously, he could get away with it because he's just miles above them. And I think Seguara's been absolutely excellent. He's been my, for me, the most promising signing we've signed so far.
Yeah.
Out of everyone we've signed, for me, he's the one that I think, do you know what? You can play at this level. Where I still have question marks over Diaz and Archer and the other people we bought. But Seguara's been the one I thought, do you know what? If we gave you a good run in the team, you would do a really good job for us. And then it's the answer of who do you play left back? So it's almost like
whether you play Charlie Taylor.
Yeah, Charlie Taylor didn't look that good to me the other night. If I'm being honest, he looks a little bit fragile.
He just needs a bit. He's desperate for game time. He looks like a player that just needs. From what the Burnley fans said, he just needs.
Is he even better than Manning?
Yeah. See, Manning, I thought was going to go out on loan today. I thought he was going to go out on loan. I thought he would go.
Thing is
bloated squad. Bloated squad. So there's a good kind of a good place to finish. Actually, I kind of finish up with a captain. Actually, I did a video on this early on this week because he takes a lot of criticism. It's Jack Stevens, but I actually think he's done really well this season so far. I don't think he's massively put a foot wrong. In my opinion, I might be not with everybody on that. I don't think, but I don't think he gets dropped tomorrow. I think he plays tomorrow, but I actually think there might be a surprise player that could potentially get dropped tomorrow. I think Taylor Harwood-Bellis has had his first 2 games not been the Harwood-Bellis that we have seen. Whether he starts him tomorrow, because if someone's going to have to drop out of that back 4 tomorrow, somebody's going to have to drop out of it. And if he's out of the back 5, you can go with the back 4. He's going to have to make it. Somebody has to drop out. It's obvious. But
do you really see him changing to a back 4 yet, though?
I think
I really hope so.
surprised.
I really hope so.
It doesn't work though, has it? In my
no,
opinion.
it makes us.
I mean, it worked against Newcastle because they went a man down and we were able to stretch them so much.
Yeah, but then
I know we were dominant the first 20 minutes.
Be 4 and getting another attacker on in that box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, we should have won that game. We missed 2 sitters, so
we did. Guys, it's been a brilliant live. I've really enjoyed your company. We are, I don't know, 4 minutes from midnight. I've done 2 hours 40 on it. Jimmy's been here since the start. Harrison's come in as well. Thank you all very much, my guests. You've been amazing. I can't thank you enough for your time, giving me your thoughts on the transfer window, thoughts on the game tomorrow. I'm going to do some more live streams throughout the season. Going to do pre-match previews. Going to look to get like a live stream up and going every week. So I think we're in a position now where we've got loads of guests available, where I won't be on my own doing them all the time. It's almost impossible to do them on my own. So like pre-match previews, I think we'll start doing them on a weekly basis now. So guys, if you're keen to get involved in that, we will start that. We'll start that from the Man United game, and we'll try and bring in a guest and get a guest on the show from the opposition as well, get the opposition view as well. So yeah, got some exciting stuff. So guys, a massive thank you for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Harrison, thank you. Jimmy, thank you. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. So huge shout out to the guys that have been in. Jimmy, thank you very much indeed. That brings me to the end of deadline day here on the Football Martin channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on this video as well. I'll be back with a live stream potentially on Sunday, reflecting on the game tomorrow. I'm not at the game, unfortunately, because I'm at a wedding, but I will be watching it on my mobile phone. But for now, good night. And I will see you on a stream again in the coming days.